You're listening to the Mobcast Network.
Welcome to the Cult Movie Cantina.
Yes.
Hello.
We still missed the whoops.
They are the whoopers together.
All right.
So
Are
they
we
not
supposed
synced
to
up.
whoop?
Her yes threw me
every
off.
whoop, you always whoop.
It's like you and Caleb
But do I
both go,
have to whoop?
You kind of.
Okay. Well, I wasn't sure. Okay.
And then I go, hello.
All right.
Okay, then let's do it.
Try it again. It's the Cult Movie Cantina.
Woo!
Hello. Yes, it is. Here we are.
This is the podcast.
That wasn't rehearsed at all. Organic.
It grows. It grows. This is the podcast that looks at some of your favorite cult films as an
Some of
alcoholic
them.
beverage.
Me.
Always.
Shows us someone who's not seen them,
Usually me.
and then we talk about it.
We do.
I'm your Native American pop culture spirit guide, Scotty, and I'm joined by, as always,
Your Lady of Libations, Countess Stephanie von Frankenberry.
and
Justina, your jellicle jester.
She who knows no movies.
Admiral.
At your service.
At ease.
Oh. And then we also got producer Caleb over here.
Yeah.
Caleb this time.
Voice
not
only
Cable.
today.
Voice
Yeah.
only because he has sacrificed his camera because we've had troubles with cameras. Like
Yeah.
since
Well,
Past
one of
couple
them
of
ended
weeks.
up in a ditch.
did one of them end
Yeah.
up in a ditch. One of them now decided to quit on us. It doesn't want to work. It's like
It's like as soon as I got a
It's on
camera, I
strike.
didn't get a camera.
right. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to get more cameras. I want to get a sugar mama. So baby, if
Girls,
you're out
don't we all?
there, if you're out there, come on. I need a camera. I can get you what you
Hey,
need.
sugar mama.
There you go. He can get you some
Yeah.
blue balls.
That was from last episode.
I have a sugar mama. Just kidding.
We have guests.
We do have guests.
We have
do.
guests.
I have my fancy tiara on today because we have guests.
I dressed in my uniform.
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
know.
put on my tassels. I didn't feel
No,
like
but
it.
you at least you have your hat on
Oh, yeah.
today. So
We have Mike Eveland
Hello.
from the Jesters Court. Woo! And then, are we going with your real name or are we going with a pseudonym?
You may call me Momthulu.
Momthulu.
Yes.
And you have your podcast. I had to write it down because it's very long.
It is. Oh, it's not that long.
Yeah.
Jeez, it's the Innsmouth Rag.
There you go. See, I didn't even have to say it.
What's it called?
The Innsmouth Rag.
okay.
The Innsmouth Rag.
Innsmouth.
Because I'm a Momthulu.
Yeah, right. So it's a Lovecraft.
Oh, okay,
thing, so.
cool.
Nice.
So tell us a little bit about your podcasts.
Mine?
Both of yours.
Oh, well.
You can fight to who goes first.
So well, you want to fight for it? Because we can.
Go ahead.
Fight!
Fight.
So the Innsmouth Rag is a podcast about horror movies. We go and we watch our favorite horror movies again, and then we rag on them like a gossip rag, because that's what we do.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. It's
Nice.
It's a good time. And then his shit is where he defends crappy shit.
I probably word it a little bit better.
Okay.
We take properties that are unfairly shat upon and we defend them.
All right.
Sometimes
recently-
they're not unfairly shat upon, okay? Like,
don't always
like
agree.
The Postman.
Oh, why are
Have
you
you
bringing my
done-
episode up?
Have you done Cats?
Cats
Cats?
the movie? Okay,
Like the
so
newest Cats.
God, it's awful.
It's we're not going to do that one. We're not going to do that one because
I mean, it's a ringing
vetoing it
endorsement when
right
someone
now.
says, God, it's awful.
Yeah.
I was like,
God awful.
They hate it, but I liked it. I can defend that.
That could be your episode.
Okay.
All right.
I have to watch it first. I can't, I'm all.
Oh, don't
Oh,
do
we
it.
saw it in theaters.
Just don't do it. It's
It was a season 1 episode we did.
I have 4 cats, like actual cats, and I almost got rid of them after that movie.
That's very dramatic.
I was just over
She
it.
didn't.
But yes,
Home and you're like to the pound. Yeah,
She
no.
came home and one of them was tap
Done with
dancing, and
cats.
she was like, "Shit, it's here too."
Yeah.
No,
I
I-
saw the railroad cat.
I got to guest on the Jesters Court a few weeks ago.
for Postman,
For the
which
Postman.
Postman.
For
my
the Postman.
co-host is making fun of.
Terrible movie.
It's not a terrible movie.
Giant holes. Giant
Oh,
holes.
but that's all movies. All
it was
movies have.
Dances with Wolves, but dystopian.
Sure, that's okay.
I've seen none.
Dances
of the
with
things
Wolves
that
won
have
an
been
Oscar,
discussed.
so he's like,
It
I'll
did,
just try
it did.
what I had.
Yeah. And then Kevin Costner went, you know what? That did great, so let me just remake that movie in all niches that I can.
See, Kevin Costner.
Like
loved-
Waterworld.
Yeah. Waterworld.
Kevin Costner's like, I need a 3-hour movie all the time.
Every single
Yeah.
He
one.
was
Kevin
doing
Costner
it. He was doing
loves
3-hour movies.
epics.
And did you
Yeah.
ever notice that he uses the same font for those movies too?
Absolutely.
Like the Postman, all of the actor script is all in that like fancy. And you're
Right, he's like,
I
I'm-
saw that in Dances with Wolves. You know, like
He's like, I'm good with this. I'm comfortable. I'm happy. This is what I get.
Now
But
in-
every director does that.
Yeah.
Name one John Woo movie where you don't have dubs. Name
yeah.
one.
who's John
They don't
Woo?
exist.
Who's John Woo?
You
We
know
talking?
who.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll fit in right
Or a
in.
Michael
Yeah.
movie that doesn't have explosions.
I'm
Justina, who's John Woo?
Listen, I didn't know any of the things you guys have just said. I don't know Postman or Dance with the Wolves.
Listen to her. She has
I'm
no
over here
clue
like,
about
yeah,
any
that's
of what we're
exactly
talking
what
about.
It's like,
This is
I'm
why
trying to
we
give her
love her.
hints, and we'll be like, broken arrow.
I just sit here and just listen, and I get a context clue, and I go, I know that person, and that's what I use. I know
And,
that
and then
person.
she'll get excited.
I've
about
seen
it.
that one movie. That's it.
Or my favorite thing, because she's went to film school. And
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, she's gone to
she's
film
gone
school.
she's got a degree in film and
Doesn't watch movies.
and she's like, oh, I didn't see that movie, but they showed a clip of it
Well, I've
in the
seen
class.
scenes of movies
Yeah.
that I had to watch and then like break down.
So
like,
went to
I
film
actually
school,
watched the film.
but doesn't watch movies. Is that like working at a restaurant? And you're like, I don't want to eat this food anymore. Like you're just so sick
but
of
I
it.
was
You're
like
like,
this beforehand.
Yeah,
That I don't like. I watch movies now. I just don't.
because we make her.
But I watch some of my own movies, Scotty.
I was gonna say you've watched at least as many.
She
episodes
I
of
am.
the
wants to
show.
watch Elvis
She
on her own.
she saw Elvis last week.
I
I'm
did.
very proud of her on that.
But there's a lot of movies that I should have seen for my age.
Yeah.
Like classics I should have seen, and I was very sheltered as a child, and then I've had kids younger, and so like I just haven't seen a lot of movies, and then I don't think to go back and watch them because I genuinely don't know they're there.
And I'm glad that happened to you because we wouldn't have a podcast premise.
That's right.
You help make the show interesting.
So I try to watch movies. Everybody goes, "Hey, have you seen this?" And I'm like, I haven't.
Because I mean, Steph and I had a podcast
Why
for
are
a
you
while,
bothering
but you know,
And then they're like, "You haven't seen it." I'm
Alcohol's
like,
great.
"No,
Yeah.
it's
Just two of us drinking because you were drinking at
At
the time.
the
So
time.
it was the two of
It
us
was
drinking,
Is
talking
it-
about movies.
so
But
now we added your thing. It's just a whole other
Okay,
Now
dynamic.
it's Scotty just in the middle going, "Ladies, stop drinking. Just calm down."
this is why he usually makes us wait till later on in the podcast for the
Nice.
libation instead of at the beginning.
That's true.
Sometimes we're over
'Cause
here
we would
like,
be lit.
okay.
We have been
Yeah.
lit. Some,
We have
some
been
shows.
lit.
Yeah.
We have definitely.
I've heard the episodes.
Yeah.
A lot of them involved hunch punch or witch's brew, if you will.
Yeah.
Man.
No, that was that bucket hunch punch for that awful Osmond.
Yeah,
was that
Return of
the
the-
last
Yeah.
time he drank?
No, the last time I
Last
drank.
time was the absinthe.
Well, not the
Absinthe.
absinthe. That was like a fluke.
Yeah,
But
because I was
like,
because
we were drinking.
when I was drinking the last. Yeah, and that was one of those things where I need to rethink my life decisions.
I bet you
'cause-
also wanted some mashed potatoes.
Scotty
at
was
that
sick
time.
for like 4 days
Oh
after
my
the
god, I
hunch
was sick for
punch.
like 4 days on a hunch punch. For go back and watch Return to Oz
Oh yeah, was the one
for,
it wa-
for Return to
Look,
Oz.
I like how you remember that stuff. No, I just remember the drinks. I remember the movies. I don't remember the other.
where they
Yeah.
went.
Yeah. Back to John Woo. Have we done Face Off?
No, we haven't.
I love
No.
Jigsaw.
Are we calling
I
that a
haven't
cult
seen
classic?
that either.
Face Off?
I would.
We did Titanic.
Is
on
that
the show.
really a
It's-
classic
Our
yet?
premise
Yes.
is our title and our premise are kind of what we call loose.
I'd call Face Off a cult classic.
I kind of would too.
Face Off?
I know what
Yeah,
the
your
box
face.
to that movie looks like.
No, I know which one that is. That's the one with John Travolta and
Nick Cage.
Nick
Nick
Cage.
Cage.
They
Yep.
swap bodies.
it's awful.
It's great.
Terrible.
John Travolta and Nick
And there's
Cage
doves.
swap
'cause it's
bodies.
John
Nope,
Woo.
swap faces.
Faces. That's why
Only
it's called
faces.
Face Off.
Yeah.
It's those two people together though.
hmm
Yeah.
That's weird.
And like 1996 version.
Yeah, it's based on audiences not understanding how bone structure works.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. They look exactly the same.
If you take the skin of your face off and put it on someone else, it would look just like you.
Just like that. Creepy.
Science.
Science.
I have a little bit of paperwork to do before we start.
Oh,
If you like our podcast, you can listen to us on any podcast app. If you please rate and subscribe because that's very, very helpful. And if we're on a podcast app that you're like, I like your podcast, but you're not on Farfanugan, well, just email me at mobcastnetwork@gmail.com and we will get on Farfanugan. But
Absolutely.
I think
You
we're
keep saying that. What if Farfanugan reached out and they're like, dude, you're on our podcast. Like, stop using us as an example.
well, if they know how to email me now.
Okay,
They can
perfect.
That's right.
We're on Facebook at facebook.com/Cult Movie Cantina, where we play games like Wrong Title Only and Caption This. And I post tons of trailers. That's mostly what I've been doing lately. It's like
There's some good ones.
there's some. Yeah, you saw a bunch of good ones with.
Oh, gosh. Every one. I was the one in the
with
theater going,
Elvis.
we're going to go see that. We're going to go see that. Every single movie. I looked at her and she was like, you want to see that one too? I was like, yes. Yes, I do.
Yeah,
They're good. Continue. I'm sorry.
it's gonna be a good summer for movies, I think.
I think so too.
And then you can see our smiling faces at youtube.com/mobcastnetwork.
You can.
This week,
Not Caleb's, though. He lost the camera.
well, we can hear Caleb's voice though, his angelic
He's going to be
cherub-like
like,
voice.
you know, the wizard behind the curtain.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
This week we watched Return of the Living Dead.
We did.
from 1985.
I had seen this before, by the way. Like, I didn't think I had. But as I was watching it.
I love the inhale from the Jellicle Jester. You all right there?
Yeah.
I can't wait to get into this. Directed by Dan O'Bannon. Written by Dan O'Bannon, but it had a lot of help. John Russo, who worked on Night of the Living Dead and owned part of the rights, sort of. And he's the one who presented this and tried to get this made in the first place. And went to a guy named Rudy Ricci, who wrote a draft, and then Russell Steiner wrote a draft, and that's how we got this movie. Stars Clu Gulugar as Bert. James Karen, who I think deserved an Oscar for this film, as Frank.
That was by far my favorite person.
Oh, God, Frank is like acting his ass off in this movie. It's like children, if you want to be an actor, watch Return of the Living Dead, just watch Frank. That's a masterclass right there. Just watch
He was
it.
my
Yeah.
favorite.
Man,
to be
he-
clear, just Frank.
Just
Just
Frank.
Frank.
Just Frank, yeah. Don Calfa as Ernie. Tom Matthews as Freddie. Beverly Randolph as Gina. John Fiblin as Chuck. Miguel A. Nunez as Spider. He's been in a bunch of stuff. He's a really good actor. He's Joanna Man. Brian Peck as Scuzz. He was also a couple other people in the movie. Lena Quinley as Trash. And Mark Venturney as Suicide. That's our cast and crew. And so now we're on to the fun facts of 1985.
That would be me. I have done all of my fun facts for this show in a question format,
Ooh.
so I hope you're all ready.
So
Okay, 1985. I was not yet in high school, so I wasn't drinking yet. Therefore, I might be able to answer some.
I was 4 years old.
I was gonna say I was not yet in high school because I was 5.
Yeah, I was 4 years old.
I was 6.
I was not yet in.
you were
this
not
world.
6.
19. Oh, no. I was -4. I went the other way, didn't I?
Yeah,
Yes, you
yeah.
Your,
Yeah. I was
your
about-
math skills
Yeah.
are very
Right.
bad. I was in middle school.
-4.
I was about to say you and I were not in this world yet.
Yeah, you're not.
I wasn't even thought of yet. Not yet.
You might have been thought of. You might
I
have
don't know. Our parents are pretty young. I hope not.
What month did this come out?
August, I think. Let me see. I have it.
Okay,
You
that
are
was
you
what-
are correct, August.
So it would have been the summer before my 8th grade.
been. I had just turned 4 years old.
I was turning 8.
It was right in the middle of Stranger Things happening. So
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
stranger things happening.
There you go. You guys ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Question fun fact number 1. What began as an anti-littering campaign in 1985?
Give a hoot,
Give a
don't
hoot,
pollute.
pollute.
That was fantastic, and you're both wrong.
Oh,
But you did it together, so beautiful.
I did.
Teamwork.
Beautifully incorrect.
in honor of Scotty, is that where they started the Native American with the tear?
First of all, that dude was Italian.
Well, I'm sure the actor.
Was he
I'm sure
really?
the actor was not actually
Not
Native
okay.
American.
Iron Eyes Cody was an Italian guy pretending to be an Indian.
wow, I didn't know that.
And so, no, that was in the 70s.
It was 70s.
Anybody?
Anti-littering.
85?
Yes.
I don't.
See, my gut would have been, give a hoot, don't pollute.
Yeah.
Because that sounds like.
I remember the commercials.
I don't know.
Don't mess with Texas.
Oh!
That was an anti-litter.
Yeah, it
campaign.
started as
Yeah,
an anti.
Don't
yeah,
mess with. Don't mess with. Oh, that's cute.
Okay, I don't remember that one at all.
Yeah, it started as
You don't
an
know
anti.
that that's Texas slogan? Don't mess with Texas.
I know the slogan, but
That's
I
where
didn't know
it's-
it was anti-littering.
None of us did.
That's where.
Oh.
Yeah, that's where it started.
That's why it's a
I knew
fun
that,
fact.
but I
Interesting.
I knew that. But
You
I didn't know
educated
when.
us.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
Thank you.
And now don't mess with Texas.
That's why you're an admiral.
What was the price of the postage stamp in 1985?
18
27
cents.
18 cents. What'd you say?
27.
27.
17 cents.
20.
25.
It was 22 cents.
22.
Wow.
Ooh.
We were all skirting around it.
You were
Yeah.
on.
All
I
right.
didn't think it was a quarter yet. So,
Now here's a movie-based question.
all right.
The Chinese government banned what because of its use of time travel and because it was a disrespectful portrayal of history?
Back to the Future.
That is correct.
Mm-hmm.
That was in
Chinese
our
were
fun
like, "Mm."
facts.
No.
That was in our
Right.
trivia for our live Pensacon show 2
Yeah.
years ago.
The things you keep in your brain.
Can't do math, but I can do this stuff.
Yes, you can. All right. Stephanie's favorite game.
Oh God.
Oh.
Hollywood hunks, sex symbols, and leading men. There are 4.
What year did we do last time?
95.
95.
Okay, so Brad Pitt's not in this one. 85. I'm gonna say Tom Selleck.
Yeah,
I was about to say Tom
that
Selleck.
was going to be one of my guesses too.
You were all wrong.
Okay.
Harrison
Let's-
Ford.
Yes.
Harrison Ford.
okay.
There you go. That's a good one.
Post Indiana Jones. I think this is Witness.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Harrison Ford for real.
I have seen that one, by the way.
Which one?
Witness.
Oh.
Oh,
okay.
wow.
What about
Um,
Indiana Jones?
No, because we kept talking about doing it on here, so I just have refrained
Oh,
from watching
cool.
them.
let's do.
Sylvester Stallone.
How about
No.
the one we were just talking about?
What?
Oh,
I
golly,
think I know what you're
earlier.
talking
Tom
about.
Cruise.
No, Tom Cruise would have been way too young, I think, for this.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Oh,
No, Risky
were you
Business.
Or
talking-
maybe she's giving me the look.
Were you
so-
talking?
I know who you're
I know
thinking.
who you're talking about. John Travolta.
Is that who you're thinking about?
Maybe.
It is John Travolta. He's one of
Yeah.
them.
I was
Yeah,
About, yeah. 'cause
that's
it
what
can't
it
be
was.
Nick.
Based
It can't
Yeah.
be Nick Cage. He's
Yeah.
still not quite.
'Cause
So
Urban
John
Cowboy.
Travolta.
So we've got 2 more.
Man, this is hard from the 80s. I'm
Patrick
trying to.
Mark
remember.
Harmon.
There you go.
That was a good guess, though, right?
That was
Thank
good.
you.
I really think that was good.
Would you
Yeah.
like some initials?
Yes.
Yes.
MJ.
Michael Jackson.
No.
Michael Jordan.
No.
He's too early. That's Michael J. Fox.
No. I think I would have to say MJF for that.
Yeah.
Maybe
Mikael
MF.
Jordan.
No. Anybody?
I'm out of MJ's
I'm.
MJ is Mick Jagger.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
Jagger.
because he got them moves like Jagger.
But he's not
He
good
might
looking,
be,
bless his heart.
Yeah, yeah.
He's
This
not
one's been voted
pretty.
on people
He's
who could
not
not
pretty.
see.
He's not pretty.
And then the last one is RR.
Robert Redford.
That is correct.
That's it.
Yeah.
I was thinking Ryan Reynolds.
kinda
Nope,
tracks.
not Ryan
Ryan
Reynolds.
Reynolds was like our age,
Nope.
so
Yeah.
He was a baby.
I'm like, nope.
All right, next question. In
Okay.
1985, what was found 370 miles from Newfoundland?
The Titanic.
That is correct.
There you go.
Who started selling their own menswear clothing line?
Donald Trump.
He sold everything else.
All right.
Ralph Lauren.
Nope.
I just picked a designer. And went with
Calvin Klein.
It's the same kind of concept, but nope.
Versace.
Nope.
Victoria's Secrets.
No. Think a little bit more masculine
Okay.
and a little bit more non-expensive.
Tommy Hilfiger.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh.
He was the next one. Yep.
Forgot he existed.
Right.
Well, it's because it's not the 90s anymore.
That's all.
There's that.
people
There's
wore.
that.
Yeah. Give it some time. It'll come back.
Uh-huh.
It all comes back.
What was the actual day off for Ferris Bueller in 1985?
Oh shit.
Like the date.
No, the dates or the day of the week?
No, like the actual date for Ferris
Yeah,
Bueller's
because
day off in
it is a
1985.
holiday because they have a parade going for it.
Oh, that's a
They
jerk.
can pinpoint. They have pinpointed the day that he actually took off
Oh, that's cool.
based on
All the facts
the
in the
data
movie.
from the Braves versus the Cubs game he attended.
That too.
Okay,
yeah.
So they were able to go back and figure out the actual day
Right.
that his
But
day
there's
off.
a German, like a German pride parade, because they're the people that they're with the lederhosen and they're
Yep.
just dancing
Yeah,
with. So
right.
it had to be in October sometime. I'm thinking.
He was in school.
Oh, wait a minute.
Can't be October because it's baseball.
No, because baseball's not in October. It's in the
Yeah.
summer.
So you gotta be like September.
That was also Illinois, and we take every opportunity to throw parties up there.
Oh, there you go.
Oh yeah. There
That's
you
what I
go.
want to be.
I'll do September 15th.
It's not in September. So anybody else want to guess? I would pick another month.
Okay, hold on.
August 1st. I have no idea.
So let me make it a little bit easier. We're
Okay.
in the same month.
Okay.
June.
Yes.
June the 5th.
Well, why was he in school
It
then?
was June the 5th.
Oh,
Up
Oh, Momthulu for the win!
Up north,
That
you
is
don't
good.
get out of school till like the 14th, 15th of June.
Really?
Yeah, but you start after Labor Day too.
So,
Oh, I
wait.
didn't know that. I was like, why are they in school in June?
Wait.
What the hell is
That's
that?
what that's what I was used to growing up.
Okay, so it's the last 2 weeks of school. Why do they care if he skipped or not?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, because he's already
We've done it
missed
like
so
a
many
million
days.
times, yeah.
That's just like he's almost there till Mulligan.
It's like y'all leave him alone.
You say that like that principal has a rational decision making throughout the movie.
No.
Yeah, this is a principal who literally chases him to his own house, and
This is also a principal who's on the
let's.
sexual
Yeah, I was about to
sex
say
offenders list.
Yeah, yeah.
That's right.
He was also possessed by alien in Howard the Duck.
Right.
I love.
He's
Howard
also
the Duck.
Emperor
I love
Joseph
Howard the
in
Duck also.
Amadeus.
There you go.
If you ever do a Howard the Duck episode, I will appear on that.
I gotta
Love
look.
Howard the Duck.
The problem is a lot of times those like that they actually have good
They're
ratings.
like now people go back and undo that.
You
Yeah.
watch it and they're like,
Well, I mean, Howard the Duck is responsible for Pixar,
That's true.
Yeah.
so there's that. So there's some good to come out of Howard the Duck.
All right, next, ma'am.
So the next one, I'm going to butcher most of these words.
All right.
What film is based on the true story of Roy Lee Rocky Dennis, an
Mask.
American boy? Oh my
Yeah,
God.
Mask.
Yeah.
It's a great movie.
It is
It
a
is
great
great.
movie.
I didn't
It's got
get to read
Cher
all of the-
and
Wait,
Can I
finish
just
your
say,
question.
as an outside observer, how heartbroken it was her
Yeah,
Preparing
face
for these
when he
hard-
like mid sentence, and she clearly thought she had a great one, and just like halfway through it.
He says Rocky Dennis
Scotty
mask.
gets it.
yeah,
He
Mask.
goes,
So-
I didn't know that.
All right, so my friend, I'm colorblind,
Mm-hmm.
and I have friends at work because I have to work with colors because I'm an animator, and there's a scene where Rocky is trying to impress his blind girlfriend he meets at a camp, and so he's trying to explain color, and he does it with touch and feeling, and so he's like he boils a rock and he puts it in her hand and goes, "That's red." And then when it cools down, it's pink, and that's all they say to me when they talk about pink. And
Oh, yeah.
so I get that reference all the damn time. So yeah, Rocky Dennis shows up a lot in my life.
Well, anyway,
Finish the question.
the only thing left are the hard words.
I
It was
know,
An
I'm-
American boy who had craniodiaphyseal dysplasia,
Mm-hmm.
an extremely rare bone disease.
You ever seen it?
Mask, yes.
Yeah.
That was one of my mom's favorites, so I had seen it a couple times.
It's a good movie.
Eric Stoltz and his messed up
Yep.
face.
He was amazing though.
That was
Oh,
good.
yeah.
Cher's great in it.
And the makeup, as for because I'm a makeup artist, and when I was a kid, of course, watching that movie, I had no idea that was makeup. I mean, it was flawless, really good quality makeup.
Okay. What was the first soft drink to be consumed in space when astronauts aboard the space shuttle Challenger tested their space can on July 12,
That's how close Mika
1985?
was.
I know.
I'm showing off the.
That's how close the
That's the
makeup
real
is.
the real boy.
I want to say Coke, but I'm guessing it was probably like Tab or something.
Yeah.
That was Coke.
It was
Was it
Coke.
Coke?
Well done.
Coca-Cola.
The cola.
Whose voice was legally declared as one of Michigan's natural resources?
What the hell?
I just got a text
Any
from my
voice
husband
actors specifically from Michigan?
about the movie. I'm sorry. What was the
Whose
question?
voice was legally declared as one of Michigan's natural resources?
Any singers or voice actors from Michigan? That
I'm
we
trying to
can
think who's singing from Michigan.
Howie Mandel.
He's Canadian.
Okay, well, close. You know.
You're right.
Yeah, it's
Like right
around that
there.
area.
Yeah. I have no idea.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Aretha Franklin.
Oh yeah.
wow.
Oh.
Respect.
I was about to say, is she from Michigan? But that makes sense with Detroit and yeah.
So we're going to play the quotes game.
All right.
Okay.
I know none of these. So if you guys do,
This is hilarious.
more power to you. Courage.
Willow.
Okay, that was it.
Courage. Well, my gut instinct's the Cowardly Lion, but that's 1939.
I like the way I said it. Just courage.
Right. So I'm like,
No, just courage. Still sounded like the lion.
it does. You kind of,
Okay.
kind of there.
I kind of need more.
No, that's it.
That's all you
that's
get.
the quote.
That's
is
what I'm
courage.
saying. I'm just
I
saying.
can't give
Look,
you any-
I don't think that's a quote. I think that's just a word.
Yeah. Is that a line?
It was said by Dan Rather for a new ending for his daily news broadcast. Just courage.
All right, go Dan Rather and Courage. What's
Just
the
saying it was
frequent
also
see
said by Willow.
Kenneth?
I'm thinking old people watch Dan Rather, so I was not
I didn't know
old.
who
Yeah.
that was.
He's the news guy for
Yeah.
Channel
Yeah.
5
Assumed he was a news
for
person.
CBS.
Okay. Thank you for your support.
Bartles and James.
That's correct.
Oh, I remember those commercials.
You look marvelous.
Marvelous. You look marvelous. That's Billy
Rivers.
Crystal.
Billy Crystal. SNL.
Correct. Well done.
So that one season of SNL that's
Yeah.
not terrible,
You
but
look
really,
marvelous. It's better to look good than to feel good.
You're like marvelous.
You look marvelous.
And to end the segment, What was the most popular video game of 1985?
Pong.
No.
You guys have
That's
this.
late enough. Mario was out, wasn't it? I believe it was Mario.
What Mario?
Well, the first.
Super Mario Brothers.
Okay.
Mario the First.
Which you've played.
Yeah.
We've,
I've heard that episode.
you should watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
If that and watch her play Red Dead
Anybody-
Redemption.
That was even funnier than
Anybody else have any?
Miss Pac-Man.
No, that's incorrect. It was Mario Brothers.
Mario
Yeah.
Bros.
And I will
Look
tell
at
you the
you
description
getting
about
things
it.
right at least once in your
Mario
life.
and his brother Luigi traveled through the Mushroom Kingdom, killing as many turtles and Goombas as possible, and to save Princess Toadstool from Bowser's castle. Except she was never in the castle until the final level. It's enough to make a plumber want to break through the ceiling in the first dungeon and just warp on over to the 4th level.
Okay, hold on.
That's what you can do.
Princess Toadstool?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And
So
they-
that's who he had in the movie was Toadstool?
No,
Yes.
that was Daisy in the movie.
Well,
I'm
As
so
the game
confused.
goes on, they
In the
switch
movie,
it up.
yes.
Okay.
What's your
And
name?
now
Yeah,
this is how
that's from
Justina
Princess
feels about
Toadstool.
everything we
Yeah, I
do.
know.
yeah, it's super
So
confusing.
so it's Toadstool in the first game, but she later becomes known as Peach.
Peach.
Okay.
And the movie, they chose Daisy, who's one of the later princesses that Mario saves, who later becomes Luigi's girlfriend.
Like,
What's
it's
up?
just a whole bunch of flowers getting stuck places is what I'm hearing. You can find this on the NES or the NES Classic.
It's true. We have an NES Classic right over there.
Well,
It doesn't
Yeah.
play the same, though. I do better on the Classic, and Derby Wife does better on the original
Here's a
format.
question. They ever do a Wario version of Peach? Is she Weech?
Wazy. Does Wario have there's a Waluigi, right?
Yeah,
Waluigi.
Waluigi, thank you.
Waluigi.
And so, Caleb, find out there's
So would it be
evil girl
Waich?
versions.
Yeah. Oh, no, because you see Mario and then there's Wario.
Right?
Then there's Luigi and Waluigi.
Right, so would it be Waich?
Maybe. Or just Weech.
I love
Waich.
I kind of like Waich because it plays into Witch.
Oh.
Waich, witch. Uh-huh.
Ooh.
If she's not Witchly, somebody has missed it.
Missed opportunity.
Brothers and sisters, gather round
We're gathered.
on July 3rd.
Preach it.
At the Unita Medical Supply Warehouse, Foreman Frank tries to impress a new employee, Freddie, by showing him military drums of toxic gas called trioxin.
I like that he started his job the day before July 4th.
It's a great day to start your job.
Yeah.
Right.
yeah.
It sounds like working for Walmart. The first time I worked for Walmart, it was like, yeah, tomorrow's Labor Day, so you're coming in, right?
Yes.
Did not plan. Okay.
Okay.
Frank accidentally unleashes the toxic gas in one of the barrels, which seemingly melts the cadaver inside and reanimates another cadaver stored in a meat locker. Joined by their boss Bert, the three discover that every part of the zombie can survive independently. But has the Bert has the zombie incinerated at a nearby mortuary by his friend Ernie. But this inadvertently causes the deadly gas to contaminate the air, creating a toxic rainfall that reanimates the corpses in the cemetery. Meanwhile, Freddy's girlfriend Trina and his friend Spider Trash, Chuck, Casey, and Scuzz, and Suicide arrive at the cemetery to meet Freddy at his job, while Trash starts stripping on a gravestone for reasons. Tina goes to the warehouse first and wanders into the basement, where she encounters the reanimated but horribly disfigured cadaver from the barrel that was assumed to have dissolved. The rest of the group arrives shortly after and saves her in the nick of time, although Suicide is killed. It's kind of in his name. After Casey realized she saw Freddy entering the mortuary, the group attempts to reach him through the cemetery, where they are attacked by the re-emerging zombies. Trash is killed, and Chuck and Casey flee back to the warehouse, but Spider, Tina, and Scuzz reach the mortuary. Yay!
Yay.
The three discover that Frank and Freddy are growing ill from their exposure to the gas, with a medical test implying that they are no longer alive. When Bert and Ernie learn of the dead rising from the graves, they barricade the mortuary thereafter. Scuzz is killed while protecting the barricade, and the zombies eat the paramedics and police who arrive on the scene. Send more paramedics.
Send more cops.
With Frank and Freddy showing signs of becoming zombies themselves, Bert has them locked in the chapel, accompanied by Tina because she refuses to abandon Freddy for reasons.
She loves him.
God,
Love them
teenagers,
so
man.
much.
Freddy soon attempts to eat Tina, prompting Bert, Ernie, and Spider to rescue her by reopening the chapel.
He also loves her brains.
Bert and Ernie.
Yep. Frank manages to escape during the chaos and still has control of his mind, commits suicide by immolating, puts himself in the crematorium. That's weird. Also, he's already dead, so is it suicide? That's just a discussion for later.
Yes, that is a discussion because the question is he dead?
Is he dead?
Yeah.
Because
that's the question for later.
I've got
questions for that. It's probably my favorite scene in the movie. Bert and Spider flee the mortuary in a police car, but the large number of zombies forces Bert to leave Ernie and Tina behind. Ernie and Tina hide in the mortuary attic while a blinded Freddy attempts to break in. Tina, I can smell your brains. I love Freddy. Bert and Spider manage to get back inside the warehouse where they find Casey and Chuck after incapacitating the basement zombie whom the Spider named Tarman. Bert attempts to contact the police but learns they are massacred by zombies after being overrun. But then decides to call the number on the military drums, which they should have done before this movie even started, which reaches a military officer, Colonel Glover. Notified that the zombies have been taken over in the area, Glover has the town destroyed by nuclear artillery on the morning of July 4th, effectively killing Bert and the other survivors. In the wake of the nuclear strike in Louisville, Colonel Glover is overheard telling his command officer that everything went as planned and that the result couldn't be more positive. Only a small area was destroyed, and he says casualties are limited. Plus, the toxic rain, which again is might be burning some skin on contact, but that's okay, is putting out the fires. As he speaks, more zombies in cemeteries around are heard screaming in their graves, and the invasion is about to begin again. Credits. I'll let y'all discuss. I've talked a minute.
I have questions.
Oh, good.
Okay, I accept some Agent Orange gas, which, by the way, Vietnam was way more interesting than I realized.
Right.
Can reanimate corpses and zombies walk around. How do the ones that are all just skeletons walk and move?
okay. So
There's no bone or muscular muscle left.
and I have questions even on top of that. These to me are not zombies. They're walking, they're talking, they're communicating with you. They are telling you why they want to eat your brains, which to put them out of pain. So they're feeling they're feeling pain, which means that they have nerves that are actually working, even though you don't necessarily have skin or nerves there that are working. They are opening doors. They are operating machines. These are not zombies.
They're just more advanced zombies.
But they're not.
They're zombies.
They're not. Okay, so zombies. My belief of a zombie is a corpse, something that is dead, that is kept alive by some sort of weird electrical impulses that is keeping the body animated. But they have, communication skills. No, they're just dumb moving bodies. They don't know how to open doors. They don't know how. You know what I'm saying? And these things. Not only that, you can't kill the damn things. It's weird.
I like that as a premise for this one movie, but if you're talking about building a world, that becomes problematic.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Well,
very much so.
Which they've tried. So this movie has 4 sequels.
Yep.
Right, and
Oh,
which is what my question is like: are they really dead at this point? What do you consider dead? Because they're communicating, their brains are functioning. Death is usually when your brain ceases to function. All this stuff is working, so are they truly dead?
I think for this film, though, it redefines what a zombie is, and there's specifically reasons why they do that. Because, like Mike said, is like in this specifically, they set up established rules, and I think their big rule is we're not Night of the Living Dead zombies. We're not
Right.
those
Yeah.
guys.
Right.
And so what do those guys do? Let's try not to do any of that stuff.
Yeah, like they
So-
literally go out of their way to make sure that it's not Night of the Living
Exactly.
Dead. Because they literally
Absolutely.
have the line of, "You mean the movie lied?"
Yeah.
Right.
So these guys are fast. They're communicative. They can use tools.
The first ones, we eat brains.
Yeah, they were at. This is the start
Just
of
brains.
Right.
zombies
Because-
eat brains.
Right.
Right.
But
And
they
they say
didn't just eat brains because when trash got on the ground, They all came and swarmed and ate her, but she had no head wounds, so they did not eat Trash's brains.
I think that's
Which is
continuity.
weird.
I think that was just.
I know, I'm kind of with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. But
Well-
maybe Trash didn't have any brains.
Or like Scuzz.
That tracks.
But so Scuzz does get a brain bite,
Right.
and Suicide both get brain bites,
Right.
and they
They don't
don't,
get up.
and they don't
They don't
rise.
return, yeah.
So it's not an infectious disease.
yeah.
No, it's the gas.
It's the gas.
Well, it's the
So
gas.
it's the gas, and so
and
the
so the reason Trash got up is because when she died in a puddle.
yeah, she was
Yeah.
in the puddle. In the puddle, but
She
the
was
other
in
two,
the puddle outside,
the other
yeah.
two, it's interesting.
Which must be very concentrated, the gas, because burning one body, put it up in the atmosphere to make the rain toxic.
I was like, that's not how condensation works.
So I talked to
well, I'm sorry.
I talked to a chemist
Okay.
about this while I was watching this earlier this week.
Delightful.
Because
Well, I get you did like for real research.
I did. I talked to my friend Josie Clemens, and she is a professor at South, and she teaches chemistry.
Right.
And I was like, because my question was, I was curious about like, well, they burning the body, how much of a chemical would not be consumed by the flame? I mean,
Right.
because fire does change proproperties of chemicals. That's what it does.
Absolutely.
And she was like, "Oh no, no, it could totally be immune to the fire and evaporate and go in the sky. That could totally happen." And so,
I mean, it can. But here's my other thing, because I used to work in a cemetery, for a cemetery. So you've got bodies buried at least 6 feet under. But not only are they in coffins, for, number one, this rain has to penetrate 6 feet down into a coffin, but not just a coffin. The majority of cemeteries, your coffin is placed inside of a vault,
Right, yeah.
a concrete vault. So you've got 6 feet, concrete vault, and a coffin. How does all that rain get to those bodies?
some heavy rain.
You guys all watch the same movie as me, right?
Yeah.
And you're asking these questions. Like the first scene, I was like, "This is gonna be ridiculous," and it was.
It was,
And it was.
And I love this movie. I think this is my favorite zombie movie.
Really?
Yeah, overall.
That's interesting.
And it is silly and fun,
Okay.
but it's also got one of the scariest premises I've ever heard of, and that is when you die,
It hurts.
it hurts.
Yeah,
And because
that's true.
death is supposed to be like peace and everything's good, and it's like, oh, it would suck. You'd be like, oh yeah, now I'm dead. I'm still somehow
It's
conscious,
constant
and
pain.
everything sucks. I don't. Well, you can feel yourself rot. I've been horrified by that since I saw this movie in the 80s.
Okay,
I
yeah,
mean, this
yeah,
is like a
gotcha.
nightmare scenario.
Which is an interesting concept when you think about it. By what you just stated, to the people who wrote this, their concept of death is that you have no soul and there is no afterlife.
Yeah.
Like you're just going to be there in pain
Or-
in your rotting body.
Or even worse is like, well, the thing about this is that you do have a soul and a body, and your soul leaves and goes on to the afterlife and does this thing, but your body also still remains, and so you've got like an echo of what
But
you
like
are.
the meat still works.
The
but
meat still works, and it's like, oh god, right, horrifying.
It's crazy.
terrible
I enjoyed watching the movie. I mean, Jamie, of course, watched it with me. Which is good or bad depending, but we both laughed.
It's
I mean,
funny.
we giggled
It's funny.
all the way through
It's,
it.
I mean, it's a
Yeah.
horror comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we literally. Jamie couldn't believe. Jamie's watching her when Trash, gets naked. He's looking around. He's like, "Isn't anybody gonna do her? She's right there naked. Why is nobody doing her? I would have
Because
done
there's
her."
nowhere to
there's no
stick
bits.
it.
There's no bit. Yeah.
I know. He was so funny. He's like, "I would have done her."
You'd have tried. There's nowhere to stick it.
Yeah,
She's
she was
not.
wearing a
I
Venus
know.
shield.
She
Well,
got
I-
no
that's
purpose.
it.
Person was so weird. Like,
It
so,
was
okay,
weird.
so when it first started and they were in the car, I was like, "She's my favorite." Like, she got out of the car and slid down the hood in a weird way. It was weird, like Kate McKinnon.
Right.
Like, it was that kind of weird where I was like, "That person makes me happy." And then they get to the cemetery. She takes her clothes off, and I was like,
Doesn't just take them off because
Like-
that's bad enough.
like
She
takes
rips them
them,
off.
yes.
She's like, no, these are going back on.
to
We're
a
done.
point where, like, I looked over at Derby Wife. I was like,
How come she doesn't have lady bits?
because she was wearing a suit.
Well,
she
ta-
was wearing a
I understand that, but they
I-
could
It just looked like
Well,
she
just-
shaved.
It was
her
you
weird.
can see her
real
butt.
well.
You can see her
Just
boobs. but
there's
it
a
was-
whole section on it in bar trivia today.
Okay.
But
I have a whole section of it. The whole thing.
I no longer liked her at that moment because then she got weird and needy weird.
Yeah.
And I was
She
like,
was.
I don't like that because at first she was fun weird and then she got needy and I was like, oh,
She's
honey.
kind of like my Siamese cat when she goes into heat.
I believe it.
So there's a lot I want to talk about this movie, but since we're talking about the punk, let's talk about the punks for a second.
Please.
So you've got the two preppy kind of ones.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think those two
who
can
somehow-
be considered punks.
Yeah, like
No,
Yeah, they are. They're
part
so
of
they're
the
different.
group.
Being a punk in the '80s, and I was more of them, and they're more what you would call whammers back then.
right.
Okay.
So they were different. You had the hardcore punks, and then you had the whammers that were still considered alternative, and they would all hang out together.
And then you got Spider, who's clearly the only black kid in Louisville, Kentucky.
Yeah.
Right.
Or this part of who's like, I'm just going to hang out with these white kids because he's just like, I need friends, and because he doesn't, and he's
Right.
like also the most capable out of all of them.
yeah.
And then you got Scuzz, who was a traditional punk. You know,
Right.
He's got the mohawk and everything.
I think he was better in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but
That's true.
Uh-huh.
But then you've got Tina,
Who is so preppy.
who I think she's mad at Daddy.
Yeah.
And is hanging out with these people.
Yeah.
Because
Well, unless her boyfriend ties them together.
right,
Well,
like
And that's the only reason
'cause
she's
you got
hanging out with
Freddy,
those people.
yeah.
Yeah.
Freddie, and he's only punk because he's got that earring.
Yeah.
And so she's like
to be fair,
hanging
he's
out with
dressed
his
for work.
friends
Maybe when he
until
gets off work, he's got a
work.
whole
Yeah,
chain
you know,
and everything.
yeah,
And
he's-
he's gonna know where to party too, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he,
He's gotta
he
be-
always knows the best places
He's
to
trying to
party.
look real good for
Mhm.
work.
These kids were so diverse and so had too much attitude, like they almost could be Power Rangers.
That's true.
What color would each of them be?
Power Rangers didn't think too deep in it, so
Oh
Spider
my
would
God.
be black.
yes, Spider would be the black.
Power Rangers totally made it so
Trash
like
would be red.
There wasn't an Asian
I
one,
was
so I don't know who'd be
offended.
yellow.
More
I
dark
was
color.
offended by the
Yeah,
color
she
choices
would just go with her
of the
hair.
Power
Yeah,
Rangers.
Tina. Yeah,
Tina-
Tina would be pink.
Yeah, Tina's your Pink Ranger. Casey's your Blue Ranger. Scuzz would be
The bad
The
guy.
white one?
White Ranger.
The Green Ranger.
a Green Ranger.
when he
Yeah.
was emo.
Yeah.
yeah.
When he was
So,
Tommy and
so
me.
that I guess that leaves
I
the
mean,
white
we're running
Ranger.
out colors. I mean, there's
Yeah,
more.
guess that leaves the white for Freddy then,
Right.
because Freddy needs to be somewhere.
So yeah, I mean, but they're almost like 6 years from now they would have been Power Rangers. They'd be like, we're gonna go to Angel Grove, fight zombies there.
Pretty much.
I mean,
Oh man, Power Rangers versus zombies. I'd watch that.
That's
God.
Has there been a Power Rangers recently?
There's the
yeah, it's
current run.
Say yes.
Yeah, they're
I mean-
still making shows.
No, like a movie.
Oh, the last
No,
movie was
probably on
2017.
yeah, 2017. Yeah.
Wait, did they do more than one movie?
Just the-
Yes. Where have you
Well,
been?
they've done like
Not watching Power Rangers.
Me either.
There's 3, right?
I
With the original cast, there's 3, but there are other movies.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like there's direct-to-video stuff, but like
Right.
yeah,
theatrical.
the last theatrical was the 2017.
17.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I grew up watching Voltron, which is what Power Rangers ripped off. So
Yeah.
Well,
That's a debate, not
that-
for this time. No.
I mean, that whole culture, it's a whole Japanese culture thing. It's not just
We need more Captain Planet.
So,
it was a
so
genius
Captain
proposition. Like we
Planet,
have this Japanese
he's
footage.
a hero.
We're just gonna tape American kids talking around it.
and
Yeah.
make $1 billion.
Right.
so there are 2 that are for the original series that are considered the movies.
So it's the first one,
First
and then
one
Turbo.
and then Turbo.
Yeah.
And then there's the 2017 movie. And then there's a second reboot in the works.
I've only seen the 2017. I didn't see the because I was in high school. I had graduated when like Power Rangers came out. My brother was into it. He's like little. Your
Mhm.
kid was into it, right?
Yeah, my
Parrish was, right?
Parrish loved Power Rangers, and I took him to the theaters to go see the first movie.
Oh, look at you,
Oh.
good mom.
I know. Well, I kind of had a thing for the Green Ranger, so
She was going for
I'm not
Jason
gonna
Statham.
lie.
sex symbols. Let's be honest right
Yeah.
now.
I'm not a Power Ranger fan, but he's awesome. He comes to Pensacon all the time.
He
Yeah.
is. He is.
So the punks want to go find something to do, but Freddie, the guy who's working, and Tina's boyfriend, they got to wait till he gets off, and so they need a ride. So they get Suicide, who's super punked.
Yeah.
All right, so Suicide cracks me up for a couple of reasons. One, when Trash goes to take off her clothes and dance, he is right there with the road flares and just dancing along with her. And then when she's done, she's all like being needy on him.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Get
Go
away
away.
from me.
"Am I a joke?
Yeah.
Is this a fucking costume to you?" And I'm like, yeah, it's kind of a costume, buddy. I don't know if this is...
Kind of a costume.
He's like, "This is a statement." I'm like, of what? What are you trying to say? I don't-
Yeah.
Like he's so committed, he cannot be distracted by her fake lady bits.
Right. But earlier, like a minute before, he's all in.
Right.
But once he stops dancing, he is like, "I have no interest in you. or when she starts talking. One or the other. It's like
Probably the
That kinda
Let's be
tracks.
honest.
it's,
She killed it.
Yeah.
With her mouth hole.
Like, and Suicide seems like he doesn't even want to pick up Freddy. He's like, I don't want to be here. I want to do something else.
well, I also feeling because I've been that guy who's like in high school when you had the car and no one
Yeah.
else did. It's like you only call me around when you need a ride.
Right.
I've been that guy. I've been on the receiving end of that. And
I have a further question though. Where the hell were they going to put Freddy in that car? Were they going to like strap him to the trunk because it was full?
It was
just
full.
lay him across
That's when
the
we
back
start putting
seat.
people on laps.
I could.
He said, "Then put Tina on the lap." So
Yeah.
In the 80s, I had a 1984 Chevy Chevette, tiny little thing. Google it. We had so many people in that little car. You just pile them up.
Just keep
People.
going.
Number one, nobody wore seatbelts back then at
Yeah.
all. So you just sit in laps and do whatever. It's like a clown car when you stop and people just start piling out.
Also, like they decided to go into the cemetery because one of them was like, "I've never been to the cemetery before." You don't even have you met anyone who died? No, I've never met anyone who died.
Have you not been in the cemetery?
There's a great deleted scene though when they're in there looking around, and there's one of the mausoleums is just full of like beer cans and trash, and then they're just like, "Yeah, no, I don't want to be buried here. This is a terrible place to be buried." So, the other side of this though that I love most, the punks are great. I think all the characters in there are, for a movie, they're not. There's a couple who are like kind of 2-dimensional, but they're also interesting.
Yeah.
And so you get they spend a little time with everybody.
Yes.
Yeah,
Which
because you
is-
get the colonel and his wife, too, and you see their marriage falling apart before our
Oh,
eyes.
yeah.
What made your
Can-
favorite dinner, dear? What is it?
Lamb chops.
I
I
had
had
it
that
for
for
lunch.
lunch.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
scene was my favorite scene in the whole movie.
that
my,
for lunch.
like seriously, that scene was the dumbest thing that like, and I was like, that's it right there. That's my favorite scene.
No, it's fine, honey. It's
Until
cool.
they're
It
found.
literally just leaves the room like, no, that's what I had for lunch.
Walks out and goes, "I'm at home now."
And
How long?
she's like, "This equipment messes up my microwave." I'm like, "Well, then use the oven."
How long must we do this? Until
Also-
they're found.
Also, I don't want to age shame, but I'm going to. Are you sure that's his wife or his mom?
Listen,
She was a very mature woman. I mean, hey, love's love, and I'm gonna respect that. But my first thought was like, that was a little miscast.
Listen,
I'm just saying, she's probably at home drinking
Yeah.
all the time.
That's
Because her husband
she's,
goes and gets tracked somewhere.
when
and
she's
then
cooking,
comes
she's
home.
doing some day drinking.
Yeah.
or it's all that equipment that ages her quickly.
Y'all
could
act
be.
like day drinking's a bad thing. I mean, come on, people.
I didn't say it was
we don't
bad.
judge. There's a judgment-free zone.
Also, that marriage is probably still going down the tube because even though they found it, he's not done working.
That's the
because
trick. Is
his
there's
great
relief, but
solution
it's
at the
not
end was,
real.
nah, that's
Yeah.
so great.
Yeah.
Small little problem coming.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about the other side of this film,
Oh, yeah.
which is I think my favorite part of this whole damn movie is Frank, Freddie, and Bert. When the shit hits the fan and they're terrible at solving this problem.
Frank made that movie.
Oh, Frank is the best thing.
Yeah.
It
James
is
Karen
good.
is like James Karen has been in a ton of movies. I mean, the three older fellows have all had just beautiful long careers. But he's like, I don't care if it's a silly movie. This shit's Shakespeare to me. And just gives like gives like the
Yeah.
best performances. Like
He's great.
He's like, I'm going to earn this paycheck, and does. He chews scenery like it's just like candy, and I'm there
It's
for it the
good.
entire time. My favorite though is when they're all free after they finish freaking out, and they have to call Bert, and they get into the office, and he stops, he pauses, he picks up the phone, puts it down, grabs a drink of water, straightens himself up, and Bert.
That was my favorite bit too. I was gonna say that was my favorite bit too.
No one like today wouldn't even do that much business, and
No.
it makes so much of this guy, and just
Yeah.
like who is canonically 1 year older than I am now.
Oh, wow.
And so he's like 45, and I'm like, oh man, do I look that rough?
No.
So
Yeah,
that
yeah.
scene where he's drinking the water, there's that sight board in the background that says Bert is a slave driver.
Right.
That's when I sent that.
Yeah, you said
Because
that.
she said it looks like there's words on there, so we went back and looked at. I couldn't tell what it said under that.
Right.
Nice.
But the scene chart.
I just love.
spelled out Bert is a slave driver.
I just love the dynamic with Frank and Freddie.
Oh, yeah.
Like at the start where he's just like, "Don't you care about this job? Do I care about this job anymore?" Like at this point,
It's like, you want to keep your job?
That was a great
I'd be
moment.
like,
Don't you
"Not
care about
really."
this job? I've had it for a day and bodies are coming alive. No, I don't want this job.
I would have been
That
out
didn't even-
after the first wiggling corpse. I would have been like, "See,
I'm
talking
pretty
about
sure
the
the
half
split
dog?
dog,
The
the
half
split
dog.
dog,
Yes.
that was me. But like,
Yes.
okay, deuces, man, I'm out.
yeah, split.
That would've been
Split
me.
Dog
I
was
would've
when
been
my
like-
mom stopped watching the movie.
Just check that split dog.
that
You can
made
mail
me
me my
giggle
check.
so hard." Because I'm so sick anyway. The split dog, and I burst out laughing. I was like, "Oh my god, this is great."
Yeah.
I like when they hit it though. It barks.
That was the
Smack it.
funniest part. That had to have been my favorite when they poke at it.
I didn't remember that from when I watched it as a kid, and when I watched it this morning, and they said split dog, I'm like, what are they talking about? Split dog? I don't understand. I didn't understand until it knocked over, and I saw like, oh, like literally split.
Yeah.
Also, I always thought those skeletons weren't real.
They clearly are not real.
Those skeletons are definitely not real. But the way they were talking about the skeleton farm was
Yeah.
as a child terrified me. Like, I think they have a skeleton. All skeletons come from India.
India. Yeah.
International law comes from India.
And they have perfect teeth
They
there.
have perfect
Yeah,
teeth.
perfect
teeth.
Do you know anyone who died with a perfect set of chompers?
Did you guys know that on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride at Disney, one of the skulls is a real human skull?
I believe it.
Yep, I knew that.
It's Walt Disney's.
Speaking of skeletons.
I love the cadaver. The
He's
one-
all
The
yellow.
woman who's
the
telling
yellow
her-
the uber yellow cadaver who's like
The
trying to
wiggly
get he's trying to get out of the thing and Bert's like, are you sure there's a cadaver in there? And
Do you want to find out?
they're like, yeah, let's go check this out. And I like how how strategic the camera is for him, because the camera comes right to his belly button because he's naked, and so but the whole shot's like this weird shot where it
Yeah.
doesn't move. It cracks me up. It is so dumb. I love it. But just watching Karen, Frank just chew scenery, just the whole. When Freddie asks him at the beginning, what's the weirdest thing you've seen? And he's just like, I've seen weird things come, and I've seen weird things. And that face he makes, you want to see them? No one does that anymore. That's that craftsmanship.
That is fantastic.
The way he explained it made it seem like he was joking. So
Yeah,
when you
like-
went down there and you actually saw the barrels with Army on it,
Yeah,
it was
like at first
okay,
it's like
he's
at first
film
it sounds
secrets
like the kind of prank that you would tell like a first day worker
at
You'd be-
some place like that.
Yeah. And then he's like, no, it's real. Look.
So-
Is that safe in there? It's fine.
So
It's
my
fine.
question is, how long have they really been there? And two, why didn't anyone call the military?
I can answer those questions.
All right.
They've been there since the 60s. So that chemical that was in those barrels was designed to get rid of pot crop,
Right.
marijuana.
Right.
So it's been there since the 60s because that's when the marijuana epidemic started. So, got your question answered.
All right.
Yeah.
Why didn't they call the Army? Because
Because they got
Yeah.
Army stuff and they're like, this is ours
Yeah,
now.
I mean,
Yeah.
it comes down to like they keep saying, we didn't want to ruin our reputation by bringing the army down on us.
Yeah, but how good could their reputation be anyway?
Right.
Because you're looking at this
Yeah.
warehouse.
Like they're a local medical supply
They're a medical
shop.
supply store that has like 4 of everything.
Yeah,
Like,
and they're
you want some beakers? I got 4.
They're-
You want some dogs? I got 4.
and they're extremely local. You know they don't sell anywhere outside
Oh
of.
God, no.
Let's talk about the funeral home, because I want to talk
Oh, yes.
about Ernie.
Yes.
When you see Ernie, they spent a very long time with Ernie, introducing Ernie with his corpse. The like an uncomfortable amount of there's a full minute of him just like working the guy out and just poking him.
He's getting him out of rigor
Well,
mortis.
Right.
Because they gotta set up the rigor mortis.
Right, but I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I like it's like a full it's like a
Yeah.
minute.
Yeah.
It's like we have all the time in the world to let Ernie do his thing.
Establish who he is and what he does.
Also, Ernie's apron is so disgusting.
I wasn't going to bring that
And then he
up.
casually drinks coffee,
Right.
covered in all the guts and
Also,
stuff.
So my thought is, how many dudes' guts? Because that's not just one dude's guts, right? Right.
I know.
He's pretty gross.
That's multiple dudes he's
It's
been working.
nighttime, Scotty. He's been working all day. Okay, he's been working hard all day.
Can't just switch those out,
It is
right?
Can't.
Louisville, Kentucky.
No, this is a different
It is
time.
Louisville.
I mean, he was also he was about to head home after this one. This was his last one. And
At
then-
that
It's
point,
always the last one.
why bother?
It's like that cop that I was 2 days from retirement.
Right.
That's why you just don't announce that stuff. You just let it happen.
I like Bert ask him, so how long have we been friends? Oh, about 25 years. Kind of need a favor. And there's the whole thing about the rabid weasels.
Oh yeah, that was.
You want to burn
hilarious.
them? No, that's cruel. Let me
We
just
can
take them in the
just
back and
shoot
shoot them. I'm like, is that
We
better?
tried that. They won't die.
Oh, and by the way, they're not weasels.
And he carries a 45 around with him. Like, why is he in the funeral home with a 45 in his pocket?
I mean, I carry so.
I mean,
I have an
the
answer to
answer is
that in
Louisville.
today's trivia.
Well,
the
well,
answer
you
is
have
it's
an-
Louisville.
I was gonna say you have an
true.
abandoned,
Okay,
like
yeah, yeah,
creepy
yeah.
cemetery next door. Apparently, those punk kids running around all over the place.
Yeah, there's beer cans and
That's
everything
right.
everywhere.
And also zombies getting out of the grave. So, okay. Makes sense now.
But and then after they burn the body, and all the shit happens, Freddy and Frank start turning into zombies.
Yeah.
And so they start experiencing death symptoms. So that their blood pools. So when they lie still, so it gives them bruises.
Right.
They get rigor mortis, and I love the paramedics coming in. I like the color of Freddy's tongue when they when they test his tongue or whatever, to look at his tongue.
Yeah.
Oh God, that whole scene's great.
I like how the paramedics just swapped too. They're like, "I'm not getting you want," and they tried other
Right.
one. You're like, "Nope, nothing here either."
That's peculiar.
Yeah. So you got the symptoms of being dead, but you're not dead because obviously you're talking to us.
I love how
Exactly.
blasé they're about that. Like, okay, guys, look, your body temperature is cold, but
Yeah, both of them are like,
Something
"This is
weird's
fine.
going on."
Everything's fine.
yeah,
We'll
it's cool.
figure it
Everything's
out."
good.
Yeah.
And they're just like standing 3 feet away, like whispering.
Yeah.
Also, like they're like they were sprayed with chemical. Well, what chemical? I don't know. Well, this is your friend's life can be determined. I can make some phone calls, but not till tomorrow.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Damn, this it's ridiculous and fun. I thoroughly enjoy it.
I did not. I had things I liked. I'll never watch it again.
So I
Oh,
might.
it's fine.
I might watch the other films, but you would have to tell me if they're good or not.
They're not. They're terrible.
They're not.
They're real bad.
Two is okay.
Because it still
two.
has.
Two's worth a watch. And then after that, three's not.
No, 3. We're drawing
Three's
the
got-
line at 2.
All right, so 3 has terrible special effects,
Yes, it does.
but has a decent story.
That's debatable.
Well, they do Romeo and Juliet with zombies, and I
That's
kind of think,
true,
and I
that's
can,
true.
and I kind of like, I respect what they try to do, but they all also have a budget of like $6.
That's debatable.
But the funny thing about 2 is that James Cameron and Tom Matthews reprise their roles,
They do.
but it's a different movie it's almost like a different universe. So they're not the same characters,
Oh, that's weird.
Interesting.
but the same thing happens to them.
Okay.
It's like Groundhog Day.
Right, and there's a funny scene where they're turning into zombies. They're stuck in a car. They're driving through all the zombies, and Tom Marison looks over to James Cameron and says, "Doesn't this all seem familiar to you? You, me, them?" And so I was like, "I see what you did there." But it's part 2. Basically, they looked at E.T. and or Poltergeist and like, we can make a zombie movie in a suburban setting, and did that
Right.
in the
Yeah.
suburbs.
Nice.
So, libation time.
Sure.
Yes.
I love how everybody said yes. Let me open up my magic box of goodies.
I'm excited.
Look, I have fire today.
You have fire for
Oh
this?
my gosh. You know what that
Don't
means?
burn down the studio.
Delightful.
I won't burn down the studio.
This time.
That's
It's
no
going to
fun.
be great. It's going to be great. So there are 2 drinks that I had looked at that kind of go along with the film, and we're not doing either one of those. So there's that. The first one I will talk about was a shot called Zombie Brains, and it had peach schnapps and Midori, grenadine, and Bailey's, and all of that sounds disgusting together. So I was like, no. The second one was a classic tiki cocktail called the Zombie, which is really good. I've had it before, but until I'm sponsored by a liquor store, you're not getting that because it has 3 different premium rums, and I'm talking about premium rums, and a plethora of tropical fruit juices like passion fruit and shit. And I'm like, I love you guys, but no.
Rum companies, we are looking for sponsorships.
Yes. Always.
So I decided to make my favorite drink today.
Is it an old fashioned?
It is my take on an old fashioned.
It's looking a little bit like an old fashioned. I love old fashions.
We have a lot of stuff.
Old fashions are good.
So this is what I drink every night. So I thought I would share. And I got a new toy for my birthday, which is my old-fashioned smoker. So we're having my variation on a smoked old-fashioned. So it's not a traditional old-fashioned as to I don't use orange peel. I do use the orange bitters. But I have bourbon cherries that I use instead of orange peel for my fruit because bourbon cherries are better.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I make homemade simple syrup, which is made from local honey.
Delightful.
So,
You got all artesian mixologist on us, didn't you?
yes, sir. Well, I just want to prove that I can do fancy stuff too. So there you go.
I've never debated that at all.
I'm going to start debating more. if she
Today?
brings other old fashions.
Now I do use different kinds of bourbon, but today we're using Bullet, which is one
Very
of my
good.
favorites. So I like Bullet and Buffalo Trace for my old fashions. So there you
I'm
go.
excited.
You look excited.
I really do love old fashions.
Mike, do you like an old fashioned?
You know what? I've only had it once, and I liked it when I had it.
No, you're going to
Yeah,
like it. Caleb, what about you?
He's gonna like this one.
The old fashions got
No,
me when
I
I
don't
was
think
Ron
I've had one.
Swanson.
The old fashioned that you had smoked bacon in it.
It did.
Oh, goodness.
Man,
That sounds good.
she's
too.
getting excited.
I know. I want some smoked bacon.
I don't have smoked bacon.
That's okay.
Do better.
All right.
I like that she looked down.
Unfortunately, well, no, I didn't bring my jigger, so I'm going to eyeball the bourbon. This could be good or bad.
Like you eyeballed the lemonade last week?
Oh yeah.
The
Or 2 weeks
lemonade
ago.
was delicious.
Yeah, it was so good it got, JD had some, and that affected 2 episodes of my
Yeah.
Star Wars life.
Did
Yeah,
you
it
also
got-
feel
it
like
got
it was
him.
very good?
He had a good time.
Good.
He's very.
He only had one glass.
Yeah, he was very. He's like me. He's a lightweight.
A little
That's her
lightweight.
before she had to stop drinking. Like even when she could drink, it was not. It didn't take much.
It's never taken much
Yeah.
for me.
Just inhale the vapors, and I'm like, all right, that's it.
Yeah, I'm on this medication, and the doctor was like, "Do you want to have children or do you drink?" I'm like, "I guess not anymore."
Yeah. Not going to drink anymore. Every
So-
once in a while, I'll talk him into a sip of
Like
something.
my favorite thing on the planet is absinthe, and so we did. What City of Lost Children,
Yeah.
And I
And-
made Death in the Afternoon.
and which is my favorite drink. So it's absinthe and champagne, and so I was like, "You bitch." And
Okay,
so
so don't judge
don't
me
know
on my
for sure
ice
if I've ever
cubes.
had
At
absinthe.
home, I use the big,
We'll have to fix that.
single ice, the bourbon cubes. There's no way I could have transported those here
No,
and them
they
not
would've melted.
melt. So
yeah, it's because we're in the middle of a stupid heat wave.
all right.
They look delightful, though.
Oh, they are.
Tastes like rocket fuel.
It's been a minute since we've done old fashions. We usually do those.
So how does the old fashioned tie into the zombie movie?
We have guests, and I wanted a fancy drink.
Acceptable.
I told
The movie
you
was
that's,
made in 1985, so it's a little old fashioned.
There you go.
Yeah,
We're drinking
great.
old fashions.
That's why I started with
I got you.
the zombie drinks that I was thinking about and why we're not having them.
I understand.
Because I love myself.
Send more
And I'm
old
poor.
fashions.
So
I was gonna say Frank's a little old fashioned.
Frank is very old fashioned.
Yeah.
Frank's
Bert.
the best.
We'll call
Frank's
it
the best
Frank.
guy ever, right?
Yeah.
all right, now my favorite part. So we're gonna make fire.
I'm curious how this is going to go.
What? It's not hard.
Get the fire extinguisher ready.
So I have
what we call
oak,
REM.
cherry, apple, and pecan wood chips. Today we're using oak. Because I think it's the best.
You all fancy. This is.
See that? Okay, what's the first one?
I can start passing them. I got my flip flops back on. Hold on.
Get them fluffy flops.
Caleb.
There's number one.
Yep.
Actually, you know what? Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Go for yeah.
Hang on.
Oh, it smells good.
Does smell good.
That's the tablecloth.
Yeah, I think she doesn't drink, but I made one for Derby. Why?
All right, it's okay. Me and Momthulu can be like designated drivers.
It is my car, so that we
That's
came
helpful.
She drives a hybrid. We took hers.
There you are, sir. You're welcome.
What'd you get? Cool. You like it?
We've only had it for a day. Well, so far. This
Okay,
is yours.
show that to the camera. As you.
Lift it up. They can lift.
Yeah. There you go.
Now lift it. Ooh. We get fancy with our shots up here.
Oh, there you go. That's
And then mine.
That smells great.
yeah.
All right, so everybody enjoy.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Have you had yours yet? Is it good? Is it good?
That's good.
Oh, it's a lot.
So this is, like I said, my variation. It's better in a real glass with the big ice cubes,
Yeah.
but we do what we can do.
All right. You want some Apocrypha? Because I found some.
Yes.
Toby Hooper was set to direct this film.
Oh.
Toby
Who's
Hooper.
that?
Oh, that is good.
Toby Hooper directed the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Poltergeist and Life Force and some other movies.
Classic horror movie.
Yeah,
He's a-
classic
he's
horror
a
film director. He was
guy.
first set to direct it, and then he couldn't because he was working on Life Force, and it just the time didn't work out. And so that's when Dan O'Bannon picked it up. Who Dan O'Bannon's claim to fame is that he wrote Alien.
Nice.
That's his big one. The part of Bert was originally offered to Leslie Nielsen.
Oh, God.
Oh man.
I could have seen that.
I could too.
Yeah.
Do you like it?
This is
Good.
post Airplane, but pre Naked Gun.
Oh, okay.
He had done
Post
he done Police Squad, but he hadn't done
Right.
so. But Leslie's been before he became a caricature of himself was really good at being a straight guy in comedians.
Yep.
And so in a comedy, and I think he would have been great. Clu Gulugar is wonderful as Bert, but you're gonna make me very famous here.
Nice.
Then it was offered to Robert Webber and Scott Brady, who both were classic television actors. Brady was too ill, and Webber hated the script. So Clu got the script the day before. He got the job the day before filming started. In the early 1990s, a longer work print version of the film surfaced. It runs 24 minutes longer. All the work prints scenes you can find on YouTube, and they're in terrible quality. I need your help
Yes, sir.
because this is German.
Oh.
The German title of this film
Hold on,
is
let me put
I
the
know.
glasses on.
Get your eyes are. Oh. See, I screwed that up. All right.
Where is it again? I'm looking. Oh, is Verdacht die Zombies kommen. So the zombies come at night.
The zombies come at night.
Verdacht.
Does that mean they don't do it during the day? Like, I have a question.
No, wait.
I have a
Verdacht
question on the
is.
question.
It's not that. Verdacht.
They say,
Verdacht is. What is Verdacht? It's not. I know.
according to the
zombies kommen is the zombies come.
right. So, which is roughly translated to "Damn it,
Damn it.
the zombies are coming."
Oh shit.
I rather
Okay.
like that
You
title.
Verdammt.
know your curse words in German a little bit better.
I know worse ones than damn it. I've never used damn it.
She's like, damn it, I need harder words.
Yeah.
Is it verdompt?
Verdompt.
I'm gonna start saying
Verdompt.
All right.
Verdompt.
The Danish title is
Arschloch is
Linneglad. There we go. Which is not the title, but which is roughly The Dead Don't Care. Yeah, the dead don't care.
Do they though? No, they don't.
Would you like to play Scream, Marry, Kill this game?
Please don't put trash in it. Oh, I don't want her in it.
I didn't really think about it, to be honest.
I'll let you
so
think
this
about it. We'll
one-
try it after bar trivia, see if you get it.
Okay, let me.
All right, so here's some bar trivia. Some of the zombie extras were paid a bonus to eat real calf brains in the film.
My mother used to eat them in her scrambled eggs.
Oh, that's terrible.
That's what they did back in the day.
Dan O'Bannon didn't want the actors to do anything he wasn't willing to do, so he ate some raw calf brains first in front of them to show them that it wouldn't ask them to do anything he wasn't willing to do themselves.
They would cook them in their eggs. They didn't do it raw.
So did you guys notice the back of Freddy's jacket?
No.
No.
If you look closely at Freddy's jacket, on the back it says "fuck you" in like an interesting font.
Nice.
And then they were like, when they were filming it, and I was like, this is great. And they were like, well, crap, this is unusable because we now can't make a TV version of this. So they had to spend money to alter the jacket for the TV version.
So they could scrub it out.
Right.
Yeah.
But they didn't scrub it out. What they did was replace it with a font that says, television version on the back.
Oh, Lord.
That's great.
So Dan O'Bannon, this was his first real movie, like directing, and he was kind of a tyrant and an asshole on the set, to the point that the classic film actor Clu Gulugar, who was Bert, tried to hit Dan O'Bannon with the lead pipe that he carries in the movie, and in fact, he tried to do it so many times that the props department had to switch it out for rubber to make sure he wouldn't kill Dan O'Bannon.
Doing murders.
So we talked a little bit about Ernie and his gun,
And he's got a gun.
Mm-hmm.
and so mostly this is what Dan O'Bannon and Don Kafla kind of come up with. But Ernie is thought to be a Nazi.
Okay.
Oh.
That makes sense.
He's a there's some details that provide the indication of his past. Ernie listens to the German Africa Corpse March song. That's what he's listening to when he's doing the autopsy. And then he's got a German Walther P-38. He's got a picture of Ava Braun in his morgue.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He refers to the rainstorm coming down like Einbrücken Soldat, I guess, which means a drunk soldier in German. And he really knows her way around a crematorium. Thank you.
Like a really
Wow.
joke, though.
And then seemed surprised and ashamed when he learned that the dead can feel pain. And so Dan O'Bannon in the DVD commentary mentions that Ernie was intended to be an escaped Nazi in hiding.
Man, but like once he learned that the dead can feel pain, don't you think he felt like a dick because he was always like working him
Right.
out, right? And he was like, oh man, this whole time.
Well, that's fine. They can't feel it.
I mean, if he was a Nazi, did he really care?
That's a good
That's
good
a
point.
good point.
There's a lot of questions
That's
with this movie.
Let's not unpack that now.
Let's dive a little deeper into that one, shall we?
So Jules Shepard, who played Casey, the other prep girl, the not Trash, not Tina.
Right.
According to Jules Shepard, Dan O'Bannon met her in the early 80s when she was a member of a very ultra-chic and private club where she worked as a stripper.
Okay.
They became good friends because they had a lot in common, and he bought her drugs.
The
Say what kind of
80s.
drugs? I'm curious.
Probably cocaine.
I would say it was cocaine.
Yeah,
It's the
probably
80s.
cocaine.
It was the 80s. It was California. It was cheap.
All of you know what strippers do.
I mean,
Yeah, naughties.
When he got the directing gig for the film, he wanted her to play Trash, but she was fed up with being naked on stage and her small film roles at the time. So she suggested the audition for Party Girl Casey since she liked to party. He agreed. That's how she got the role.
there you go.
Hollywood. It's all who
Oh,
you
she's
know.
like, I'm tired of being naked. Now I want to hear the story about.
I just
Trash.
want to
Are we
do.
there yet?
I just want to do coke and be in the movie.
Give me my drug.
That's it. You don't even have to
Keep my
pay
clothes
me. I
on.
just want an 8-ball.
Pay me in the Coke. Yeah, you know.
Yeah. I don't need cash. Just give me an 8-ball. We're good.
A day, an 8-ball.
Yeah,
a
day. An 8-ball a day. We're good.
Know your worth.
When Frank and Freddie wake up from being knocked out by the gas, Frank sprays the stench of death with Lysol,
He called it deodorant.
and but it's actual Lysol. And
I
so-
didn't know what it was.
and they had to clear it from Lysol, which they got permission to use. They cleared it with Lysol, and Lysol liked the idea that their product would kill any conceivable odor.
It kind of does. And your nose at the same time.
Did they use that in
Yes.
their marketing?
And it
I
has
would
a
have ran
distinct-
with it. I would have like
Actually,
used that in conjunction.
The only odor it does not kill is urine. And the reason why, and any time I've ever gone to a nursing home, it smells like Lysol and urine. Seriously.
But I maintain that the actual original Lysol, like in the 80s, like this Lysol, smells worse than most of the things you're trying to cover up anyway.
Absolutely.
I'm
Absolutely.
not entirely convinced it wasn't the Lysol that turned them into
Lysol,
zombies.
not a sponsor of this show.
Not a sponsor of the show.
Miguel A. Nunez Jr., who played Spider, was homeless when he was cast in this movie.
Aw.
This allowed the money from this film allowed him to finally get his first apartment in California.
Hey.
Nice.
He was
was
living.
Spider the one that drove?
Yeah, the
He was
black
the
guy.
only.
She's like, does this look like a costume? Be like,
No.
No, that
No,
was
no.
That's Suicide.
oh, okay.
Suicide.
I got it mixed up.
Yeah.
Like,
I dated a
yes.
guy once that was very much like Suicide back in the
I
80s.
100% believe that.
I do.
I'm serious.
I would also believe if you
I'm
said you
serious.
dated a girl once like trash.
I
fact
may,
that
I
you have
may
to
have
think
had
about it is
relations with a
unsettling.
girl like trash, but I don't think I've dated a girl like trash.
Did she have a Barbie downstairs?
No. No. We're talking about like, well, let's see, that would have been the early 90s. People weren't shaving their hoo-haws that much back then.
It's a lot of work.
It is. But it wasn't a thing until like late 90s and above, mostly 2000s when that fad kind
Is
of
that why
started.
that fad's starting to come back? The whole not shaving anything?
Well,
It's 'cause
that
the
and because
90s are
it's
coming back?
work keeping that smooth.
Well, we're talking about like shaving in general. Like you've noticed.
I've noticed a lot of people,
generation,
yes, like
they don't shave
armpit
anymore.
hair and
They're like,
yeah,
forget it.
Anyway.
You know what? Part of me feels that in my soul.
oh
I
yeah,
can't do it, but part of me is like, I wish I.
I
grew
wish
up
I
in a
could just let it
generation
go.
Where I didn't give a shit. And it could just grow because it's a lot of
That's
work.
the only reason why I like the winter, because I don't shave my legs in the winter because nobody sees them.
Yeah.
And
Me either.
huh?
Me
Isn't
either.
it
You
nice?
either? It is so
It
nice.
gets to that length where it's
And
soft.
and the hair on my legs is blonde, and so you can't see it. So it's great. It's pretty awesome.
Welcome to Hair Talk.
Told you
You're-
I was going to bring up the lady bits on this one.
I shave
true,
my
you
pits
did.
though every day. It's a thing.
do
It's a
too.
mental thing.
Well, when I was doing CrossFit more regularly, like I'm
Yeah.
always wearing a tank top.
Well, I wear
so-
tank tops at work. My trainer
So,
shirts
yeah.
are tank tops, so nobody wants to see that.
Continue, please.
Speaking of hoo-haws,
See?
Well.
Segue. You're welcome.
when shooting Trash's Linnea Quinley's gravestone dance, she initially was completely naked and showed pubic hair, as she was, which was more the norm in the 80s. However, the producer Graham Henderson visited the shoot that day, and according to him and others, threw a fit, yelling at Dan O'Bannon that you can't show pubic hair on television. Dan sent Lenina away and had her completely shaved, which coincidentally Lenina herself found to be the most embarrassing part of the whole thing. Then they did another shoot, to which Graham Henderson cried out, "Oh God, it's even worse! You can see everything."
Yes, you can.
Like that would be embarrassing to be like shave it and be like, I'm not comfortable anymore, and then they're upset with what it looks like.
So at this point, they send poor Linnea over to Bill Munez and William Stout, the special effects guys, where they made an alginate crotch piece resembling the bottom of a G-string and glued it on.
Okay, wait.
Glue?
Let me unpack this for a minute. So this woman
Was
had to do
naked.
that whole dance. She had to rip her clothes off, do the whole dance, and then was told that her downstairs was not
groomed
properly.
No, it was
Super
like
embarrassing.
no,
No, I'm not done.
No, they said you just couldn't show it on TV.
Yeah.
Okay, so
But
then
you could show her boobs.
but then, which they were so perfect, I'm pretty sure they were fake. But then
They were
she
nice
sent
boobs.
away and had to be shaved, and you know that she did that whole dance again.
And this
Came
is
back, then they were
before
like,
it was the norm to
"Oh,
be shaved.
Now I can see detail. This is not good. So then this poor chick, after gyrating to nobody,
Yep.
because nobody cares about her, has to go to special effects where they glue on a plastic G-string
Mm-hmm.
to resemble a Barbie U-Haul.
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
Accurate.
Yep.
And then she had to do that shit again.
Yep.
Now, what was her first dance like? Because you know every time you do something, it gets a little bit quicker. That first one was probably gold.
It probably is.
According to Linnea, there was a bit of a problem since every time she had to go to the bathroom, they had to remove it.
Yeah.
Because because of this, there are no shots of Linnea with a complete naked crotch area, like a department store mannequin. She does look like a Barbie doll.
Yeah.
Poor chick.
She joked once that she had never had more attention focused on her vagina than when they were shooting that scene. Fans still ask her if there's footage of the version of the dance with pubic hair or uncovered shaved vagina, but so far none have shown up.
I bet it's the best dance, though, because it was the first
Probably
one.
is. There's nothing better than the 80s full bush dance.
And then you slowly lose a little bit of confidence every time.
Yeah, that's right.
And just imagine though what the bush looked like because it was the 80s. So
Right.
You know it was like full bush.
It's like an 80s, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Just
so
imagine
I can
dancing
only
with something
speak for
glued to your
myself
hoo-ha.
because I trimmed in the
Welcome,
80s.
gentlemen.
Well, no. So in the 80s, you didn't shave everything, but because we live in the South, where I would go swimming a lot,
Right.
you know, if you
You had
don't
to-
trim,
It's
there would be
gonna-
things
yeah, it's
coming
gonna
out of
show.
your, you
Yeah,
know,
you had to trim it up.
bikinis. So you know, there was trimming. People trimmed,
Yeah.
but
It wasn't full bush, is what you're saying. It was contained bush.
it was contained bush.
Yes.
At least,
Bush-like.
at least
It was like
for me.
maze hedges.
Well, it's
Like,
okay.
we
So
had to
it
keep- we had
was
to
more
keep
like all right. So
We
it's
had to keep them
Mike, you get one
uniform
point. I don't know what it
and
does,
clean
but you
up
get
on
one
the
point for
side.
that.
but you know the area like that where
The
it grows
sides, they
like
would just
like
come out
right
the
in between
sides.
the crease of your legs.
It's like
and you
the
put
Yeah,
your-
sideburns of
like
the
it'll
hoo-ha.
show. Yeah, it'll show
They're the
through.
Yeah, you
sideburns
got to
of the
clean
hoo-ha.
all that and like
Yes.
the parts that you know the bikini, all the bikini
I'm gonna
stuff.
start shaping mine like Elvis's sideburns.
There you go. and then you go through the phase where you do like what I call the lady mohawk.
Yes.
So you know there's
She's like,
that.
bitch, we're going to be last of Mohicans right now.
That's right.
What if that's the next story though? It's like she said they shaped me in different ways. I would come out and it's like, just try cleaning this up. No, send her back. Just do this. Send her back. Let's do the mohawk. Just get rid of it all. That's too much.
Yeah.
We're gonna need a plastic G-string to glue to her hoo-ha, please.
It's like, oh God, I see lips.
She better
Cover
have
it
a
up.
bonus for it being glued on. Like,
Can you imagine dancing with that though? With it glued on, so like you move weird and it pulls its skin.
and it's the 80s, so
Right.
I'm not imagining it being
That's
great
what I'm
form fitting.
saying.
You know,
like her first dance. You know,
Yeah.
her first dance was the best.
When I was in Rock of Ages, I played a stripper, and so you know I did dance on the poles and stuff. You saw it,
I did watch it.
and because of I had to wear, you know, we couldn't be naked on stage, but I wore a bikini on stage dancing. That we had to wear nude, like special nude dance underwear underneath our bikinis in case there was
There's no slips.
well, when we're up on the thing, if something shifted and things are falling out,
Your flag
Yeah.
falls out. Whoops,
Yeah.
let me just tuck that back in.
that's it. So, and it's uncomfortable to be wrapped up like that.
Would you say that you were wrapped up like a douche?
Where were we?
We were talking about.
You were
hoo-has.
talking about her.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Caleb, we need another bottle of bourbon. You think you could get that for us real quick?
Speaking of nudity, Dan O'Bannon claims he was surprised at how many women were in the initial audience and said if he had known that it had such a large female following, he would have had Freddie, Tom Matthews, naked as well.
Well,
Was he pretty
it
though?
seems like there was a missed
I didn't really
opportunity
think
there.
I think that,
was.
yeah.
Yeah.
there's really not any pretty guys
Did they
in this
have
movie.
breast auditions for that?
I don't know, but her breasts were nice.
They
They were like
But-
perfect boobs.
They were.
like to the point where they looked fake because they were so perfect, right?
they
Do you
were.
think that came up in the audition where they're like, "Can we see you topless, please? We need
Oh,
to see what that
100%.
It would have to be. I mean,
100% came up in the
Can you
audition.
just rip your shirt off because we need to see what that would look like?
yeah,
if you
and
ripped
do it
your
like
shirt off?
trash. Just
Just
I
like
mean-
you don't give a shit.
Yeah, number one, you have to find somebody who's willing to be completely naked, and then the yeah,
mutilated over time and then glued on.
But even if you're not being skeezy, you can't risk it being like he takes her shirt off and all of a sudden they're pointing the wrong direction or something. Like,
But what
Right.
if that happened when they're downstairs? Like
Or
they
had
just checked the breasts and
or
then
ha-
she took off their clothes and they're like, oh, we didn't
maybe
look
that
at
did
the
happen with the
downstairs.
downstairs. That's why we ended up
Yeah.
in a
And it's
plastic
Like,
cover.
Can you get her to shave it, please?
All right.
I think Lindina had been in a bunch of horror films beforehand and naked in them too, so she had a whole like
I was
repertoire.
gonna say, if she was
Yeah,
in other
she
horror
really did
movies and it
have
was the
a
80s, she's been naked before.
Yeah, she has.
Yeah.
What other movies has she been in?
She's been in a lot of low budget.
She's
stuff.
like a scream queen.
And
you
know
know.
the low budget stuff is where the nudity. is.
Right.
Yeah, that's where
That's where her naked
Absolutely.
video is.
You
Yeah.
gotta have a hook, okay?
Yeah,
You
you're
gotta
naked
bring
in
it
my low budget film.
I am naked in your
Yeah.
low budget. I'm naked in one of Scotty's films.
Very good.
It was tasteful.
It was.
Tasteful nudity.
It was
I had
important
not
for the
seen any of
story.
Scotty's film. Are they on the YouTube page?
Yeah, they're on the
Yes,
YouTube
they
page.
are.
We always tell people to go find it. So far, I haven't seen any comments.
No
of
one
anybody
has
being
ever
No one's like,
said,
really-
I've seen
We
you
pray
naked.
I will
all
go.
the
I
time.
will go find one
Okay.
and I will watch it and I will comment.
We're always like,
And if
"It's
you
on
ever
there
need me
somewhere,
to
you gotta
guest
find
on
it."
your podcast, we'll talk about
I'm
it.
always looking for guests. We can talk.
I will totally come over.
So here's Justina's favorite fun fact.
We'll see.
She liked it so much she shared it with us
Uh-huh.
while she was
Yeah.
watching the movie.
The eyesight.
The eye
first.
test poster
Uh-huh.
seen most clearly after Frank and Freddy run into Bert's office after hearing the first reanimated cadaver. And Bert's office actually reads,
Bert is a slave driver and
"A cheap son of a bitch who is
I
going
knew
going
that son of a
bald to
bitch.
haha."
See,
Yeah.
I caught one word, right? And part of me was like, pause it and see what if it does anything else. And I was like, no, I'm sure it's just the one word. I should have paused it. And
she was the one that was like, that says something. And part of me was like, I don't want to get the remote.
See-
at this point, I was like, I don't care about this movie.
I was
And
drinking
like,
smoked old
fine.
fashions while watching it and didn't even notice the sign. So there's that.
You can see BUR really clearly, and then I could see that it was and something, and I saw son of a bitch, but that was it.
Son of a bitch.
Cheap son of a bitch.
Alan Troutman, who played the tar man, said that one of the main ingredients of the tar was methocel.
Okay.
Methocel is a thickening agent used in milkshakes.
Mhm.
Oh.
It's also one of the main ingredients that made the Blob,
Yeah.
1988.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard.
Or the zombies.
Oh, the zombies to the yard.
Yeah.
The shot of the barrel corpse, the tar man, changing through the glass panel was done with a wax face over a skull, and the heat turned up to melt it. The glass cracking was unintentional, but happened thanks to the heat.
Yeah.
Turned out to be a good effect.
I will say, even though I didn't like their version of the zombies, the
I don't know,
makeup was good.
They're terrifying, though. I mean,
Yeah, the makeup it was good.
Yeah,
it was
the-
solid.
yeah, the tar man's makeup. I mean, it's for a movie that's almost
Yeah.
40 years old is still.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
All the
Costume work on that movie is incredible.
the makeup and the practical effects are solid. I mean, they're really good.
The puppet corpse that's in half. The one
yeah,
that
the
one-
spinal thing.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, I was super impressed with all of
It
that.
looked like
so.
a dog wagging his tail.
it kind of did.
That is the part that made her terrified of spines. Like to this
That
day,
took- that
she
scene
has
took
like
me
a
out of it,
genuine
though.
fear of backbones because of this movie.
So the backbone thing for me, I get it. 100% get it.
There's another movie though that's worse. I can't remember.
Pet Cemetery.
That's
Straight-
it.
Pet Cemetery.
Yes.
Zelda's back.
Yeah, Zelda's
Oh my
back.
Oh, it's just
Oh.
terrible. Zelda's back in that.
Zelda freaks me out in that
Yeah.
movie.
Now
She's
she
the
did say
scariest
watching
character
it
in that
again
movie.
as an adult, it wasn't as scary as when she was a kid. But that part made her terrified of backbones.
This one, I have recently rewatched Pet Cemetery, and it's still terrifying.
Oh, yeah.
As-
She's the scariest character in that movie. Like,
She really is.
watch
Zelda
the
is
whole
scary.
thing, and Zelda is the one
Make
that
your
gives you
back
nightmares.
She's
She's the one who's
scarier
played by a
than,
guy, isn't
than
she? I can't remember
Gage.
who.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, she's scarier than Gage. I mean, like by far.
Tina was originally written to wear a plastic mini skirt, and Beverly Randolph, who plays her, went through a variety of prissy outfits with skirts and bows and sweaters for the character, but nothing felt like quote-unquote Tina. The white and blue outfit she wound up wearing was intentionally supposed to be worn by Miguel A. Nunez, who played Spider.
Really?
The tagline, an original tagline for this movie was written by Matt Groening. Anybody familiar with Matt Groening?
Yes.
The
Yes.
Simpsons,
No.
Futurama.
The Simpsons, right?
And,
The Simpsons-
This-
and also what's
Sen-
his Netflix show?
Yeah, he does
Oh, the
Simpsons and
Princess one
Futurama
with the
and
little-
Yeah.
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 and that fairy tale show he does on Netflix. That I didn't think
actually
it was
pretty good.
I
It was
didn't
a
like.
great first season.
It's called Disenchantment.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We were all disenchanted with that.
I've never even heard of it.
Season,
Yeah, I liked the first season. It kind of fell apart after that for me.
I think
like
it's
3
kinda
episodes
come
in,
back,
I was like,
but-
"Nah."
The tagline. This tagline made some trailers. They're hungry and they're not vegetarians. Another tagline he came up with, which wasn't used, was first they want to meet you, then they want to eat you.
Oh,
I like that one.
Jewel Shepard had, who played Casey, had tremendous difficulty with her line "Go choke a chicken," because she didn't know what that phrase meant.
Oh.
And as a direct result of this, 45 takes were done before Shepard had finally got it right.
Nobody took time in the middle of that to go, do you understand what you're saying?
Right.
It's
Oh,
probably more fun to watch your.
Like
Screwed
watching
up.
you do Redemption.
Yes.
Not back in the 80s when you're using actual film. That's expensive.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah,
You got a
that is
point
very
there.
true.
Colonel Glover's house wasn't dressed for the production at all. The garish display is just how it came. That's somebody's taste.
There you go.
Because that house was ugly.
Yeah.
He wasn't ever there, though. And when he wasn't happy.
So do we blame?
Lemon chops.
James Caron,
Uh-huh.
Frank,
Frank.
would show up on set days on his days off just to pump up the spirits of the rest of the cast.
Oh, that's cool.
I like
I
it
would do
even
that
more now.
too.
And then we didn't get to talk about this, so we'll talk about this here now. But James Caron came up with the idea for the death scene of his character. Originally, Frank was supposed to be completely transformed into a zombie and join the zombie mob. But James Caron did not wish to film any scenes in the cold rain of Los Angeles, so he insisted. So instead, suggested that Frank incinerate himself before said transformation could be complete. O'Bannon agreed and to the suggestion, which I think is the best scene in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also one you never see in a horror film like this, where a guy's like,
Yeah.
"I'm about to turn into the monster, and before I, screw this all up, I'll just take myself out." And the song, the burn,
Yeah.
is
Perfect.
perfect. I just
It's a great scene, and I'm kind of bummed and disappointed now that I found out it wasn't really nobility so much as I don't want to go out in the rain. You're not putting me out in the rain.
But like that's the genius of it. Is like here's a problem. I don't want to be in the rain. How do we make it better so I don't have to be in the rain? And I think that scene elevates
From
that.
that angle, yes, but in my mind, I pictured I'm not going out in that. Figure something out.
But I think most of the most creative decisions come from those moments of how can I bring them a solution that's cool enough that they'll let me not do that.
Right.
But I understand. I would also incinerate
like it
myself.
almost sounds very like
Selfish.
diva-ish.
Yeah.
In my mind, that's how I picture it.
It's so funny because anytime, I guess I don't have any things. I mean, there are obviously things I won't do. I've never been asked to do any of them because for instance, anytime I'm in one of Scotty's films, he's like, "Hey, do you want? This is what I want you to do. You okay with that? All right. Hey, I need you to do this for me. All right." I mean, it's always like whatever. So rain would not be a problem for me at all.
It's interesting. I don't know.
Rain would be a problem for you.
Rain would 100% be a problem for me.
I literally.
You'd be like, "Can I just burn myself?"
Yeah, I'd be like, would it be cooler if I crawled into somewhere and set myself on fire?
I mean, there was that one time at the Christmas show that we report on, like that.
Oh, yeah.
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 But it wasn't the rain that bothered me. I mean, it was a pain getting everything packed in and protecting merchandise. The worst part of that was driving home soaking wet.
Right.
I mean, I was so.
that's the thing about
I
the
was
rain. It's
freezing.
being wet afterwards.
Well,
Like,
normally
in the moment it would be fine.
But in a
as soon
movie,
as-
though, you would be dry because they would give you towels and a trailer, and it wouldn't be a big deal. So
I don't think this movie had the towels or a
no.
trailer. I don't think.
I'm sure they had at least a towel.
I don't think they had the budget
There
for
had to have
it.
been a towel somewhere.
All the budget went to
you're
special
not gonna be
effects.
getting wet today. Bring your own towel. If you do not
You're
bring
right,
your own
because
towel,
they
you
spent
will
all
be
their
sitting
money on
wet
8-balls.
You
I would have
did-
been like, I would
to
have been
feed
like,
that one chick.
I would have been like, I'm fine. Just give me an 8-ball.
You did say the director was kind of a dick. I don't see him like, like just shake it off. It's fine.
Yeah, all right.
I told you to bring your own towel.
It's fine.
I got two more things before we go to the bar tab.
Okay.
Very early on, the trioxin is unleashed, and the only zombies around are the cadaver in the medical warehouse freezer and the tarman in the basement.
Right.
Freddy says that they should call the emergency number on the barrels, only for Bert and Frank to shoot that down because they don't want to bring in the army.
So they get in
and
trouble.
and the government police scrutiny that would
Yeah.
ruin the warehouse's reputation. They were right about the army. Because their solution with dealing with the Triaxon zombies is kill everything in the general area and hope for minimal civilian damage. Even more ironic is that the fact that they had called the number for trying to cook the yellow cadaver, the army would have probably been able to contain it. 2 zombies, yellow cadaver, and Tarman and 2 infected humans, Freddy and Frank, are a lot easier. However, due to the fact that they didn't call the number sooner, the army nuked the area because the fact that there were more than 20 zombies within the numbers increasing.
Idiots.
You idiot.
So
I mean, either way, they're dead, so it doesn't really matter.
Cute.
I mean, if they had called even before they opened it, like when they first got it, then that would have solved everything.
So this movie
And
is
then that guy may have been in a happy marriage. Selfish.
this movie is related to a movie called Night of the Living Dead.
No, they bring it
Yeah.
up.
Outside of them
Right.
bringing it up, Night of the Living Dead is made by George Romero and John Russo, and there was an issue when Night of the Living Dead came out with the print, and the copyright didn't get on the print, and so because of that, and because of the way the laws worked in the '60s before the copyright laws in '77 changed, there's no copyright on Night of the Living Dead.
Is that why they have? Is this story gonna be why they have the weird shared relationship, like with the rights?
Right.
Yeah.
So there are some conflicting stories, and John Russo. I watched. There's a documentary on this movie called More Brains that I watched in prep for this, and John Russo's talking about it. And he says most people think that him and George Romero had a falling out, and they're not friends. And George was still alive at the time. He's like, no, we're friends to this day. So that's what John says. But there's a legal battle involved in this.
Right.
And then there was a legal battle over rights of this film. The way it ended was the court split it between Romero and Russo. Romero could make any film about the dead and the day of the time. So
Okay.
night, day, dawn,
Right.
whatever. He could make those films.
Right.
Russo got Living Dead.
Okay.
And so he makes a book in the 70s to make a little extra money called Return of the Living Dead
I see.
that this movie is loosely based on.
Nice.
So there's a book.
There is a book, but it's way, way out of print.
I'm not going to look for it.
Yeah, it's
That's hilarious.
Way, way out of print, and it's way, way expensive, and really has nothing to do with...
I know what to get you for Christmas now.
All the books.
Right, but I mean obscure books.
Yes.
But the opening of this book is a funeral, parents of a funeral of a little girl, and it's a very sad moment. Before they bury her, they drive a spike in her head to kill to kill the zombie that she's becoming.
Oh wow.
And so that's how it's about.
But in this movie that doesn't work.
Right, but this is the original book. This is
Okay, the book.
which came out about 10 years
But
before.
So
by the way,
proper
how
zombie
cool
laws.
would that scene have been actually as the opening
Oh,
of the
fuck
movie?
yeah, right?
Yeah,
That would have been
would've
great.
This sweet, sad. Oh my God, that poor little girl. I just ended with that.
Like, what a
Ugh.
shocking moment.
Yes.
To be like, oh, we hate her. Are you ready?
I would
Yes.
watch that movie.
Like, you hold a steak? Okay.
Right.
I mean,
Can you imagine doing that to your child, though?
They kind of do it. There's a movie called Fido. That's
I don't know
Billy
what this
Connolly's in it. It's
I love Billy Conley.
he plays a zombie pet kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
And there's kind of the premise of it's a world where zombies exist, but civilization doesn't collapse. They just adapt to it.
Yeah.
So you just automatically, when someone dies, you put a stake through their head?
Right,
That's
there's
What
how-
is that TV show? Is it iZombie where she's a
iZombie, yeah.
mortician or something?
iZombie exists. It's got a similar idea
Right.
of where the
Yeah.
zombies
And there's
don't
also, like,
collapse
Shaun of the
society
Dead.
yet.
Shaun, I love
Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead is my favorite zombie
Yeah,
movie.
it's-
100%.
it's great.
You've got it on you.
100%. As far as you know, now I know that it went off the rails. I think it's gotten back on the rails, even though it's the end now. I love The Walking Dead.
Yeah, it's fine.
I love that world, because it's in my mind the way zombies should be. like, science-wise. It's the way zombies should be and break down and everything. And I love the fact that the threat is no longer the zombies.
Right.
It's all the other people, all the other survivors.
Because humans are terrible.
Humans are terrible. But I like that kind of stuff. But Shaun of the Dead is brilliant.
But with this film, they didn't want to. Romero's camp, his other producers, basically didn't want to make anyone think that this Return of the Living Dead was a sequel to Night of the Living Dead, but then wanted to make it something different. So that's why the zombies are fast. This is why they are communicative. They're smart. All of that stuff was to mainly, and that was John Russo going, okay, we can do that just so we don't, hurt this other film. So
they're definitely not traditional zombies by any means.
No.
It's almost like they belong in their own category. Like they should be something else.
Well, I mean, they're zombies of
Almost.
this world. I mean, they're zombies.
I know, but
there's
you know what I'm saying. What was that other movie that's a really good zombie movie that's almost like real?
28 Days Later?
No, it's the voodoo one.
Oh,
you know which one I'm talking about.
Weekend at
Serpent in the
Bernie's too.
Rainbow.
Serpent in the Rainbow.
Fucking brilliant.
That was a great movie.
That's a great movie. Now that's
I've
like,
never heard of that.
so it's based on true stories, and it's about quote real zombies, like, but voodoo practice, because it's really cool. It's like how the voodoo priest community
Wes Craven film.
can make a zombie,
Bill Pullman.
but it's so
Paul Winfield.
good, and it's so like well
is it called
done,
again?
and
The Serpent
Serpent
and the Rainbow.
the Rainbow. And,
Serpent the Rainbow.
And the Rainbow.
Serpent and the
and the
Rainbow.
There are two aspects of Haitian religion representing heaven and hell. I believe that's how it goes.
Literally is all about the voodoo, religion and
But
the science behind it. Like what it basically, well, not science, but the powder.
The guy's an anthropologist. The premise is that he's looking for a new anesthesia, and he thinks that this zombie powder
Right.
can
so,
have some trips.
So the voodoo, the zombie is part of the Haitian religion, that the zombie priest or priestess can turn you into a zombie, and so they're doing this with this powder, and it's crazy, but it's
a good
such
movie.
a good
It's a good
movie.
movie.
They put your soul in a
Jar.
All
right.
I can say is anytime I run across anybody who may or may not be voodoo, I am very nice and respectful. I am not my normal smart-ass self. I am yes ma'am, yes sir, whatever, because I am not taking my chances.
You ready to bring this home?
Yes.
Let's do it.
All right. This movie came out August 16th, 1985,
All right.
which is about a month and 13 days after it's a year and a month, because you pointed out, I always thought it was 85. This movie it happens,
I was
but it's 84.
13.
Yeah, it takes place
It's
in
in 84,
but
released
it's
in
out
85.
in 85.
I was
Yep.
13 when this movie came out.
So there are 5 movies in the top 5 of that weekend. Would you like to go from 5 to 1?
Yes,
All right.
always.
Well, can we guess where this?
Yeah, I was
landed?
going to ask, where do you think Return of the Living Dead falls in the top 5
Of the weekend.
of the weekend?
Of the
Yeah.
weekend?
I'd
10?
say
5.
So she
Out of town.
says it does, and he says
10.
10, 5,
I'm going to say 5.
5,
I say 3.
4.
Really?
Mhm.
Okay.
Interesting.
What was it up against?
Are you ready?
That's
Yes.
what we're about to guess.
Hold on, I have to look. I should have looked this film up.
So Derby
There's one
Wife found out that book is for $10 on Amazon.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Sweet.
That's
By
not
the way.
expensive.
That's pretty.
The last,
good.
but I haven't checked in a couple of years. Last time I saw it on eBay, it was like 400.
The other mass
Was that a
production
signed one,
was
though?
$99.
Usually ones like that are signed, and
There's been a couple movies we've done where there's books about it and they're really difficult or really expensive because
Yeah.
they're not.
They're
something
just
you
not printed
get.
enough.
Yeah. So it's usually like eBay you have to hit up.
Oh well, I don't know this movie anyway. So number 5
Uh-huh.
is a Mickey Rourke film called Year of the Dragon,
Yeah.
I never would have got that.
which I've never seen. You seen it?
Yes.
Any good?
I don't remember.
All right.
all I remember
Ringing
from
endorsement.
the Mickey Rourke film from that era that I remember is 9.5 Weeks.
All right. I haven't seen 9.5 Weeks in a long time.
I know. I need to go back and watch
Yeah, I
it.
need to
I
go
don't
back
think Jamie's ever seen it.
Yeah, that's he'd enjoy that.
That's a prequel to 50 Shades of Grey.
Right. Number 3 is Tim Burton's first film.
Ooh.
Edward Scissorhands.
No.
No, but thank you for knowing a Tim Burton movie.
That was pretty.
Damn.
I like Tim Burton.
I mean, you like pulled that one out like you were like it was like almost like your Toy Story
I was
answer
like,
every week.
wow. I almost thought you were correct at first because
God,
it was
man,
like,
you're almost correct.
I don't know anything else he's done earlier than that. I
Okay.
know Sweeney Todd. That's
Nah.
happened.
Yeah.
but we're talking about 80s.
I know, I don't
so
know
this
earlier.
is
Oh my
baby
God,
Johnny
I'm
Depp.
trying to figure it out. I'm like, was it bad?
I'll give another hint in a minute, but I'll let everyone think of today.
Was Johnny Depp in it?
No.
No.
Okay.
Oh, that's why
No,
I don't
this would have
know.
been
His
pre-
very first movie
Was
was
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nightmare on Elm Street, and I think that was right around the same time.
Right.
Tim Burton did Nightmare on Elm
No.
Street.
No,
no,
Johnny
no, no,
Depp
no.
was
Johnny
first
Depp.
movie was Nightmare on
Oh,
Elm
yeah.
Street.
What
Yeah,
a
the
weird
Wes
thing for
Craven
him to
movie.
do. Now I
What
wanna
did
go watch it again.
Tim Burton do back then?
Frankenweenie?
It was Frankenweenie was a short that actually got him this job.
Right.
And so this is based on this. I'll put it this way: this movie spawns a briefly loved Saturday morning kids show.
Ghostbusters?
Oh.
If you're not using Johnny Depp as your lead,
I-
who is his lead?
Oh, I know what it is.
Was
Who's his
it-
lead?
Ready?
Don't tell
was
us who
it-
who's his lead?
Paul Rubin.
Yeah,
It was
Paul Rubin.
Pee Wee's Playhouse.
Yeah,
Pee-wee's
Pee Wee's
Playhouse.
Big Adventure.
Pee-
Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Why Large Marge is so freaking scary.
Right?
Yeah.
That was Tim Burton.
That's Tim Burton's
Yeah.
very first movie.
Okay,
I
I
expect you
had
to know
no
more. This is your
idea
time.
that was Tim Burton. I am impressed.
Tighten up over there.
Because I loved Pee Wee. I love Pee Wee's Playhouse. Come on in, pull yourself up a chair.
Number 2 is a Tom Hanks movie that also stars John Candy. It's where Tom Hanks actually met his wife.
Planes, Trains, and
Tom Hanks
Automobiles?
and John Candy.
No.
No, John
Forrest
Candy.
Gump?
No.
Not Forrest
No.
Gump.
There's John I'm trying to think of John Candy.
It's a comedy.
movies.
It's a silly. It's not a good comedy.
Is it the one where they're out in a cabin and they're
Money Pit?
No, but that's a good.
That's a good
good
movie.
guess.
That
Good
is a
guess.
good
Good guess.
one.
That's Oh, what's her face from Cheers?
Tom Hanks was in Elvis.
Yes, Tom Hanks.
Unrecognizable.
Oh, you know what's
in
funny?
Elvis.
You know
Because he has a fat suit on.
Did-
It's fantastic.
Also,
he does it so well.
he was filming that movie when he got COVID. When he was the first celebrity to get COVID, and we all
Yeah.
thought like
Yeah.
we didn't know what COVID was. Like, oh my God, Tom Hanks is going to die.
He was fine.
Like he talked different. He did such a
Okay.
great job. I'm sorry.
Tom Hanks and
Good.
John Candy. I don't remember a John.
Yeah,
I can't
don't-
remember them
Who's
together
John
in anything.
Candy?
Volunteers.
Oh, yeah. It's a Canadian movie.
Yeah.
Who's John Candy? I know
He's
that
a Canadian.
You
He's
do?
Saturday Night Live.
Spaceballs?
Name. No.
No.
Uncle Buck.
Oh my! See, seriously, come on now. You know I haven't.
Yeah,
It's
Uncle
that
Buck
moment where
or
they
Planes,
look
Trains,
and
and Automobiles.
No,
He was Saturday
no.
Night Live.
No.
I've seen Saturday Night
Okay,
Live,
he
but I
was
can't-
he was a Saturday Night Live member.
He was not.
He's Canadian. Was he not?
no,
No.
he's SCTV.
Yeah.
Oh,
SCTV.
SCTV.
Yeah, he
You're
was a-
right.
he's a-
I'm
he's
so
a-
sorry.
He's an SNL alum.
Cool
I thought
Running.
he
You've
was
seen
SNL.
You've seen Home Alone.
No shirt on, fat guy.
You've seen.
Oh,
Cool.
yes.
Bow tie.
Yeah, yes. Okay.
Yeah. Cool
That was
Runnings.
Chris Farley.
Home Alone, yes.
Yeah.
That was Chris Farley? That was
No,
Chris Farley.
that's Chris Farley.
No.
Yeah,
You
that's
broke
Chris
Chris Farley for me because now I started thinking his name was John Candy.
Yeah.
So John Candy was in a lot of stuff in the 80s.
All right. So Home Alone.
Yeah.
Remember
Was
Home
he one
Alone?
of the bad guys?
No.
No.
Was he the dad?
No.
No.
No, he's the guy
He
who got
was the
to-
one
I
that
got a
played in
bomb.
the
Polka band. that
polka
get-
band in the van that she goes back.
Okay. But that's a movie I know you've seen that John Candy was
Have you seen Cool Runnings?
I have. Was he the
He's
guy?
the coach.
in. He's the coach.
Okay, I know him.
Yeah.
Okay, no.
Thank you.
Cool Runnings is a good
But I
movie.
can see how you got
Cool
that confused.
Runnings,
I can
man.
see how you got that
Cool
confused.
Running.
Yeah.
Number
That's a good
one.
movie, too.
Number one was a movie that was banned in China for.
Thank you, Caleb.
Yep.
Well, that would be
That
Back
would
to
be
the
Back to
Future.
Back to the Future.
the future.
I was gonna see if she would get it because I was.
I'm
Like,
sorry.
Usually when
Sorry,
I
I
get
was talking about how Caleb
right.
and
Usually
I
when I put her fun facts against her, she doesn't remember them.
Oh, that's I am
I
so
know.
sorry.
The last one,
I
okay.
should have just
Yes.
let her do it.
That's weird because it's set
It's
in 88.
because it wasn't
it not?
accurately correct
No.
historically.
No, it's set in 85.
I could have sworn it
And
was
it
set in 88.
discussed time
Okay,
travel.
never mind.
Because then he goes back to 55.
Yeah, duh.
Come on now.
What are you doing?
I need both of you to
shit.
tighten
Hold on,
up over
I'm
there. Okay.
answering a text.
He's got one
Y'all
more
both
thing.
get one
it's
old
also
fashioned in you.
it's also in the song.
don't know who Chris Farley
Gotta-
is.
Go back in
Is
time.
it? Yeah, it's in the song.
Is it a lyric in the song?
Yeah.
I mean, I could totally
How do you
make us
figure
Is
that
another
this the
one.
No.
50s or 1985?
Okay, now you say that. Yes, I remember.
So,
Oh,
I can make us a
88 miles
road
per-
drink.
I'm thinking 88 miles per
all
hour.
right. So this movie made about $15 million overall.
50? How much did it cost?
Less than that.
Based on what
So
I
it
saw,
was
I'd say less than
successful.
that.
I think it was about a $9 million budget. So,
A lot of that went to
Yeah,
makeup.
You know, it was only.
yeah, most of it was
You
makeup.
know, it was 4 sequels successful. So
But House was 4 sequels, or 3 sequels successful, and that movie was trash.
That movie is
Yeah.
trash. However, the best thing about House 2, This-
Yeah, House 2 is great.
the second story, the best thing about it is John Ratzenberger.
Yes.
Yes.
Because I'm like,
Yes.
I still want the John Ratzenberger movie.
Oh, yes.
Because he's an electrician and also adventurer.
Yeah.
There you go.
And they can like come out of there, and he's already there.
Right.
He's packing a sword in his electrician's kit. Like, yeah, I just got a sword right here.
Oh, what you got here is a interdimensional portal. It's
Nice.
a great movie.
Happens all the time.
All right, so where do you think in the top 100 that Return of the Living Dead landed?
Top 100?
It
Yeah.
was number 4 in its
I don't
weekend.
think it
I'm
did.
gonna say 49.
I'm going to say
No, hold on, we've got a camera issue. Oh,
okay.
oh,
we're
sorry.
still rolling? Yeah. I'm going to say 87.
87,
Oh, I said 49.
49,
I underestimated before, so let me say 50.
50,
I'll say 22.
22, 64.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I
I almost said
So I guess
69.
you
If
were
I
the
said
closest.
69, I would have won.
Sorry. Sometimes you get weird texts on your phone. You're like, who is that and why am I getting this?
oh yeah.
That was one of those. All right. So it did not make the top 5, so let's play the top 5 game.
Okay.
Oh god.
From 5.
Back to the Future.
5 to 1. Back to the Future is number 1. I will
Yeah.
give you that.
Yes.
There you go.
So
It
we're
was
going
the
from
biggest
1
movie
down.
of 1985. You couldn't escape it.
Yeah.
Number 5 is a Steve Guttenberg film.
Who's that?
3 men and a little lady. 3 men and a baby.
No.
It's a
Three
little early
min-
for that, isn't it? That's
3
later.
men and a little
Yeah,
lady.
that's later.
Steve Guttenberg.
Is it too early for Cocoon?
Oh, Cocoon!
Cocoon?
Okay.
Cocoon.
Look at you. That was a good movie.
Number 4
that.
is the 4th, and I think your favorite of this franchise.
Is that a Star Trek movie?
No, because
The
that
Star
is
Wars
not
movie?
my favorite. The 4th is not my favorite.
You're not a one for the whales? The whales are coming this season on the show.
It's the
Like I
fourth?
think
Fuck
it may,
the whales.
the whales may be our next movie. Or the
This
movie
would be
after. That's
Rocky
coming up.
4 with Dolph Lundgren
Yeah.
because he is my husband.
Okay.
Like if I were like married to a hot Swedish guy
Isn't Dolph
with
a physicist
with
now,
a
or-
master's in
He still does.
She knows
chemical
all about Dolph
engineering.
Okay, so I thought physicist, but he does have like
Chemical
an
engineering.
degree.
He's got
Yeah.
He's got 4 degrees actually,
And
to
he
be
still-
quite honest.
Yeah, and he still does the acting thing because he was an Aquaman.
Oh, he acts all the time.
So-
He's also in the Creed movies. He plays the
Yeah.
same character in the Creed movies.
He was in Aquaman
I will.
with your other love.
yeah.
So which one did you love more in Aquaman?
Oh, see, it's really.
She
really
wants an
hard.
aqua
I-
sandwich.
I want. Yes, I
wants
want.
a
They don't
beefy
answer
aqua
her.
sandwich.
They don't answer her questions.
It's
Don't
like
give her options.
I want a Samoan Swedish sandwich. I want to be in the middle of those
You
two.
just should have just gone for Mara. You could have done a way better job.
Oh God, man! Let me tell you what. Don't even get me started on that bitch, because I'm not even. But yeah, that's one of my favorite movies.
Number 3 is the second part of a. I want to say it's a 5-part franchise now. Yeah, I think it's 5 parts now.
It's number 3 of a 5-part.
Number 2 of it. Number 3 is the number,
Okay.
but we're in the
It's the second
second
part
of a
of the-
5-part franchise.
Is it Indiana
Is it
Jones?
Indiana Jones?
And no, but both of y'all guessed almost at the same time, and that's great. But no, not Indiana Jones film.
Star Wars.
No.
No,
No, there's
that's
a lot-
not- That's,
Indiana Jones.
that's at least
Jurassic
9.
Park.
Nope.
Did you see me throw
Jurassic
stuff
Park
at
was
her?
like 90.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Jurassic
but
Park
we
was
just had
90s.
another one, so that could make sense.
It's absolutely.
Kind
Sure.
I don't know what we've had 5 of. That's.
Is it a kids' film?
Is it
Jaws?
Jaws?
Is it one of the Jaws films?
No, there's only 4 Jaws films.
Oh.
As of now.
There's more than one Jaws film.
Yeah, there's Jaws.
We've
Jaws
done Jaws 2 on this show.
Jaws
Oh.
3.
Jaws
and
two
then,
on the show.
and then there's
We
There's
had
another
Steve
one where I
Wise from
hadn't seen
Pensacon
Jaws.
on.
Oh, we did.
We did Jaws too.
And then-
That's
No,
another
wait.
one that
We
we
did. We did that.
Yeah.
not
I
in the-
wasn't here.
Yes, you were.
Yes,
Yeah.
you were.
Steve Wise was here.
Yeah, we didn't do it in this room. We were still in the old rooms. And
Oh God, that was a long. No,
Yeah, because I hadn't seen Jaws.
And then
Okay.
there's,
He did Jaws
yeah, and then there's
2.
Jaws the Revenge with
There's
Michael
no continuity.
Caine.
You could just jump in at whichever one.
Yeah. But I've seen scenes of Jaws.
Wow. Okay, I don't know.
Stars the guy who stars in your favorite movie that we just talked.
Okay, so it has Sylvester Stallone, probably.
What does he do?
Isn't
outside?
it
Hold on.
Rambo?
Rambo.
Rambo.
First
Rambo.
Blood Part 2.
There
First
you
Blood
go.
Part 2.
Number 2 is the movie that cemented Eddie Murphy as a star.
Rush Hour? Was he in Rush Hour?
No.
No. Beverly Hills Cop.
Beverly Hills Cop.
Beverly Hills Cop.
Hey.
It was close. It was the same mindset. We were getting there.
I
Back
think
to the Future was
I
number
think
1.
48 Hours is the one that goes, here's Eddie Murphy to the world, and Beverly
Then Beverly Hills Cop. Then he gets
basic-
another 48
And
hours.
my
which is,
favorite,
well,
I have two favorite Eddie Murphy movies. My first one is Harlem Nights, which is
Great
like
movie.
Great movie.
so funny. And then I love Boomerang.
I really
I actually
enjoyed
love
him
Boomerang.
as Donkey in Shrek.
He's good.
Harlem Nights is great because you got Della Reese and she makes the
shot me
movie.
in
to
my
me.
pinky
pinky
toe.
toe.
You shot me in my pinky toe.
If I had to pick Eddie Murphy films, gun to my head, I would say.
What a weird thing to have a gun to your head about.
I know, right? Life.
Oh, Life
Life
is
is
good.
good.
Life is hilarious.
Life is a great.
Life is a
it's got a
great
good
movie.
heart, and then at the end it's
Yeah, the whole movie is
really-
solid.
and Bowfinger.
I mean, yeah.
I do like Bowfinger.
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 That's fun.
A movie if you want
Is
to
it
be a
possible
film.
for a movie to be awkward? Like Bowfinger feels awkward. When you watch
Absolutely,
So awkward.
it is.
I like. So
like
the,
Bowfinger doesn't want to be the party of the room, and it
Yeah.
is. This is going to be the Wallflower
And I
movie,
know
but
it's
it's
an
great.
obvious. I know it's an obvious answer, but let's not forget Coming to America.
Coming to America is
Yeah.
great. I mean, it really is. But, so Boomerang
She's
is
so
an unpopular
good to
opinion,
me.
but the
I
things
think
I
any
like
of those
about
movies you
Boomerang
guys
is if you don't know this, and I know you don't know this, but Eddie Murphy is a huge Star Trek fan. Huge Star Trek
100%
fan.
I did not know
And
that.
so in the movie, there's a movie when he's in the bed with Robin Givens, and they're watching Star Trek. Was it Robin or the other one that he's in the bed with?
Robin, yeah.
Robin. And they're watching Star Trek, which I think is great. But I love Grace Jones in that
Do you-
movie.
Do you know why they're watching Star Trek?
Because what was on? When they turned the
was
TV on?
No, because I actually know this.
Okay, tell me why.
that doesn't
Eddie
surprise me.
Murphy is a huge Star Trek fan.
Right, that's why I just said
He
that.
was so big that he was going to be in Star Trek 4. And his producer, his agent talked him out of it to do The Golden Child.
Oh, wow. He
Uh,
should have
Which is
been.
That was a
great
mistake.
movie.
Yeah,
That was a mistake. Because Golden Child is not that great.
But you see, the fun fact is that they rewrote Eddie Murphy's part to be their love interest that Shatner meets.
Oh, that works. So he
So-
was going to be the whale expert?
Yeah, he's going to be the whale expert.
That's hilarious.
The whale in the whale movie?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Duly noted.
Which we'll be watching soon.
But Boomerang, I love Grace Jones in that movie.
Is Boomerang the one where he plays like he becomes a congressman, or is that a different one?
No,
That's
Boomerang is the
Distinguished
one.
Gentleman.
Yeah, Boomerang is the one where he works for like an advertising agency, and so you got Grace Jones, who is this, I guess, weird model, and she's trying to sell her perfume called Essence of Sex or Poussé or whatever.
Yeah.
But she, in the middle of the board meeting, she takes off her panties and shoves it in somebody's face. This is Essence of
I
Sex.
remember I don't remember specifics, but I remember parts.
But-
And I remember.
But it's cute. I also love Trading Places.
Oh yeah, no,
Great
Eddie
place
good
to
Murphy
one.
makes good movies. Mhm.
Yeah.
Then there's like the occasional Norbit.
Yeah.
And then there's
or
Norbit.
Pluto Nash or whatever. And if you like those are fine. We don't.
Trading Places is great, though.
We have done one movie from 1985. Can you remember what it
Back
is?
to the Future.
Oh, it did too. That's right. We've done Back to the Future. Sorry. There's two. Sorry, I forgot that one. Because it's even in my notes. But we did another, and we've also talked about it today.
We talked about it today.
Mm-hmm.
Was it the number 2?
No.
The second one of something that Jaws 2.
Mm-mm.
That wasn't. We saw Jaws 2.
Yeah, but it didn't come out in 1985.
I thought it did. I thought that was the whole point of
No.
us listing in the top whatever.
I guessed it as what. Came
No,
out,
no,
but it was wrong.
we
were
brought it
wrong.
Oh, we guessed it.
we
It
brought
wasn't actually
you.
listed.
Yeah,
I
we
haven't-
were.
So we talked about this today
Mm-hmm.
at this podcast.
Absolutely.
Titanic.
No, that's 1997.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was like late.
I'm just thinking of things we talked about.
Gremlins. I don't-
We didn't even talk about
Was
Gremlins,
it in
though.
my fun facts?
No.
Thank God.
was it?
Also, Gremlins. To hell was Zach Galligan.
Right.
my nemesis.
Yeah.
Oh God, let's not get him started on that guy.
So
We'll have you back on when we do Gremlins too, so you can tell that story.
Bring me back.
We didn't do Rambo, did we?
No,
No, we
no.
haven't done
We didn't do
Rambo.
Rocky IV
I will
yet.
say it is not a movie that was in the list of top whatever.
Is
Okay.
it in Star,
Was that
was it a
so-
Star Trek movie?
No.
It was not in the top whatever.
Okay. Was it?
It's a movie that we mentioned.
I know.
Yeah, I think you mentioned it and I mentioned it, but you didn't know the title until I had to bring it up.
Who, me?
All of you.
Wait. Oh my God. Hold on.
We play this game every week.
I love this is my favorite
And
game.
Justina and I
get-
always
I
fail
get so
miserably.
You know
tickled.
what, though? I can
'Cause we've
remember-
already been
I can
drinking at
remember
this
him
point.
saying the title and me going, oh yeah.
Who's in it? Give me one person. Just one person.
Go ahead.
Was it what? Wait, was it Home Alone?
Mm.
Okay,
No.
give me one person.
But it's one of the but it's one of those thought like afterthought kind of things that we've talked about that.
I hate this game.
It's
Oh,
there. I hate it too. It's annoying. I,
I
can
just
feel it. Do
remembered.
you know it?
Oh, what is it?
Return to Oz.
Yes, Return to Oz.
that was this year.
Terrible movie.
Yeah, 1985. Yeah.
Oh, that's a horrible movie. This is why I made the Hunch Punch because I hated you for making me watch it.
Yeah.
That's
She's
why
like,
we
she doesn't
brought it up.
remember that. She drank that movie away.
See, I was gonna say Farouja Balk, but I think that would have given it away.
Yeah.
'Cause
No.
you'd have been like,
Farouja Balk was in Return to Oz.
she's Dorothy in that.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever seen it?
That was
That was a
Faruka.
terrible movie.
It's dramatic. It's like I saw it in '85, and it's like we're gonna strap her down and give her electroshock treatments. Yeah, that's what I want to see at 8.
Right. Exactly.
You kind of wonder how many parents brought their kids to that movie, and at that point went, "We
Yeah.
made a terrible mistake."
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Like so many parents were like, "Oh, it's another Oz film."
like
I
when everybody-
remember growing up watching it.
This was not a regular Oz film.
It's
No.
like when everybody brought their kids to see Ghostbusters, and then Dan Aykroyd got blue by a ghost.
That he does.
I love the Ghostbusters, and I don't know how in the world it was ever called a children's movie. Because as a parent now, I'm like, you can't. No.
You know, even as a kid, I never questioned it. I was just like,
I didn't. I saw that movie over and over
I
and over
did
again, and
the-
I never
I don't
thought it
think
occurred
as
to
a
me.
kid you even realized what was going on.
it's like,
so-
okay,
Hey, Mom, Ray made a funny face. You know, like,
It's kind of like Looney Tunes. You watch it again as an adult, and you're like, oh wait, did they just say that?
or, yeah, how
Yeah.
racism.
well, I think that was Return of the Living Dead.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I think it was.
That
We
was.
covered all of
Everything,
it.
absolutely everything. I want to thank our guests.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Momthulu and Mike.
You
It's
guys
been
were
wonderful.
delightful.
Thank you for
Aw,
coming.
thank you.
How can people find you?
He's gonna do it because I suck at this.
I was gonna say I'm gonna go first because I have to do her
Yeah.
social media links as well.
I make a podcast.
We'll do hers first. Innsmouth Rag. You can find it. Is it the Innsmouth Rag?
No,
Or-
it's
Innsmouth Rag PC
Listen, I know
on-
that one.
Innsmouth Rag PC on Insta and Twitter. You can find the Jesters Court at Jesters Court Pod on Insta, Facebook, and Twitter. And buy some coffee. I sell coffee. BRSCoffeeCo.com.
I'm so excited about that.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
ready
we
to
got
try
coffee.
that.
All right. Well, this is Scotty saying this is our contribution to the multiverse. Go out and make yours.
Bye.
Brains.